Whatever happened to tap pants? I like tap pants.
Can we go now?
I'm serious, Vincent. I need your help. All I have is married underwear.
And how exactly am I supposed to help you in this arena?
Tell me what women are wearing now. Garters?
I don't know. No garters.
How about that?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, you're not really helping. You know, this could be the week. Lauren's going away with Michael, and I've got a date with Tracy. Things are getting kind of serious, so I don't need okay. I need wow.
Hey, you're not gonna get that from me regarding my sister's underwear. So you like this guy?
Yeah. He's great. I mean, he's not perfect, but I've stopped looking for perfect. It's our third date, and I'd like to be ready. At the very least, we're going to be talking about it.
Talking about what?
Okay, Vincent, it's like this. When you are separated with a small child, the thought actually enters your brain that you will never have sex again. You know, at least with Michael.
Don't you have a friend you can talk to about this stuff?
My closest friend is currently recovering from cancer. I don't think I can talk to her about sex. It's embarrassing to admit it. Men aren't ashamed of wanting it, but with women, the minute you admit that you have a longing for a basic physical need, you feel like a slut. Oh, this is ridiculous. I have no idea what to get. Maybe I'll get a nice slip.
Thongs.
What?
Thongs. Women wear thongs.
Oh, come on.
They do.
Vincent, I've spent the last 10 years trying to look for underwear that doesn't go up my butt. Why would I spend $30 on underwear that does?
Are we getting close? Because it's been an hour.
I'm sorry, Miss Gray. I don't know what's taking so long.
Next, please.
Oh, okay, Socrates. Here we go.
Mrs. Gray, you're next. Maxine.
Simon. What are you doing here? Oh, what am I talking about? You have a dog.
Yes, yes, this is Desmond. Actually, he's been having some gastrointestinal problems lately. Ate the leg off a table the other day.
Oh, that's too bad.
Miss Gray, the doctor's waiting.
That's all right. I'm not in any big rush. Why don't you go ahead, please? Well, you look great.
I heard that you retired. Just retired myself.
I just went back to work.
Our timing never was very good, was it, Max?
Daddy won't remember that you have to brush your teeth in the morning and the evening, so you have to tell him.
Okay.
Don't forget your vitamin. Try to eat some protein every now and again, and you call me every day.
She's going to be in London, staying at the Savoy with her father. She'll be fine.
Sweetie, I know it's going to be a little strange being away from home all week, but you're going to be okay.
Daddy says we're gonna ride on a double-decker bus and see the changing of the guard.
It's normal to be a little worried about being away from Mommy.
I'm not worried. We're gonna have tea and cucumber sandwiches every day.
There's a carpool.
Well, that's good. Well, that's great. I guess being away from Mommy for a whole week halfway around the world isn't such a big deal for a big 6-year-old like you.
I'll be worried if you want me to be, Mommy.
Oh, no, sweetie. I just want you to have a great time and drink all the tea in London and come back to me as soon as you can, because you're Mommy's baby.
You gonna be all right?
I don't know. Okay, I'll accept the respondent's admission and find he's made this decision knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily. Can I see the respondent's social history, please? One thing that troubles me, Mr. Mayhern. As you recall, I arraigned Mr. Rosas on what was, at the time, a charge of aggravated rape of a 14-year-old girl. At that arraignment, he was Jack the Ripper. Now you're giving him a walk with this reduced charge. What gives?
May we approach, Your Honor?
I can hear you loud and clear from here.
To be candid, we know that Mr. Rosas was present at the rape. We're just not exactly sure what his role was.
Really? Then why is he admitting to anything? Why not go to trial?
My client was there. The evidence could support a charge of assault in the third, and that's what Mr. Rose is prepared to admit to.
Well, there's assault, and then there's assault. Given the nature of this particular offense and this offender, including his prior record, I will accept the plea. However, disposition is another matter. I'm committing Mr. Rosas to DCF with his initial placement at Long Lane with the maximum period permitted by law.
That's not the deal, man. That's not what you told me.
Control yourself, Mr. Rosas.
You said no time. That was the deal, man. You lied to me.
Bailiff, lead him out.
This is bull, man. This is whack.
All right, let's be nice.
Man, shut up, pig. This really sucks, man. You screwed me, bitch. You screwed me bad. We had a deal, remember? I love your shoes. Let go of me. We had a deal.
Miss Sandoval?
You from DCF?
Yes, I'm Maxine Gray.
Here.
Can we talk for a minute, Miss Sandoval? Before we decide what to do, I need to know a little bit about what happened.
Stephanie went out last night and left the baby. I didn't know a thing about it until I heard him crying this morning. I went into her room and the baby's in the crib, soaking wet, screaming his head off, and Stephanie is God knows where. I've had it, Miss Gray, I'm telling you.
Stephanie didn't ask you to watch Leo?
No, I didn't even know she was gone. You know, this is not the first time she's done this either. It's every weekend. You know, I am Stephanie's foster parent, not the baby's. I got 3 other foster kids in this house. I can't be babysitting.
I understand. How long has Stephanie been gone?
She went to bed last night with the girls around 9, and I haven't seen her since. You know, that girl has no sense about her. God, she's breastfeeding, right? But sometimes she forgets. Half the time, she doesn't even change his diaper.
Stephanie is 16?
She's a mother. Mothers are not supposed to abandon their babies.
How is Stephanie with Leo? Gentle? Does she play with him, make sure he gets to his doctor appointments?
Sure, when she remembers. You know, I don't have any children of my own, Mrs. Gray. I thought I was doing something good here, taking in these girls with their babies, but she's not even grateful. Doesn't even seem to care.
It's hard to be 16 and have a baby.
Too bad. At some point in life, we have to stop making...
Leo? What's going on?
Your Honor, we move to dismiss. There is no case here. The mere presence of Mr. Pratt during the commission of this murder does not constitute a crime.
He walked into the bedroom where Mr. Hart was restraining and brutalizing Angie Parrish, grabbed a jacket, and walked out.
It is not against the law to see a crime and not report it.
Darren Pratt knew what John Hart was doing with Miss Parrish in that bedroom. The two friends shared an interest in violent pornography. This was the fulfillment of a sick fantasy.
That is pure conjecture. If anything, Mr. Pratt's crime was one of neglect. He didn't help Angie Parrish. It is not anyone's responsibility to put his own life in danger to help another. For all Mr. Pratt knew, if he tried to stop Mr. Hart, his 6'2", 220-pound friend might have turned on him.
Okay, I've heard enough. Miss Dodson, I am as sickened and as outraged as you are by Mr. Pratt's inaction and indifference. However, moral reprehensibility is not a crime. You have to participate, to do something affirmatively to assist in the commission of a criminal act. Regrettably, what Mr. Pratt did or didn't do in this case did not violate any of the state laws of Connecticut. And we have rejected the notion of guilt by association. Therefore, I move to uphold this motion to dismiss and order that Darren Pratt be released from custody. Get out of my courtroom, Mr. Pratt. I'm through with you. 10-minute recess.
Coward! That boy killed my daughter. He stood by and he watched her die, and you are a coward!
For the 19th century, that son of a bitch would never have made it to a courtroom. A lynch mob would have taken care of him. I'm not sure if that's such a bad thing. I exaggerate.
Kid's a punk. I know guys like that. He'll be a sinner one day. Next up, you got the Westone custody dispute. Here's the psych evaluations.
These people hate me.
Hey, folks are happy when they win and pissed off when they lose. That's the way it is.
You're right. You know, I just thought that if I was nice and thoughtful and studied the law, people would appreciate that. What? Everybody loves Judge Judy. Oh, yeah, look at that. He laughs.
I'm sorry. Oh, by the way, a guy named Tracy called. He'll pick you up at 7. Wear a sweater.
Thank you.
Okay, Leo, here we go.
Please, please, no, please, you can't do this to me. You don't understand. I'll never do it again. I made a mistake
I am his social
once.
worker, and as of now, I am responsible for his safety.
Yeah, I know what you do. You people have been messing with my life since I could walk. He's my baby. He's the only thing I have.
We'll take good care of it.
He's not gonna know who I
This
am.
is temporary. You'll get a chance to talk to the judge at the hearing.
No, please, you can't do this to me. I promise
sorry.
I'll never do it again. You're not sorry. You're not sorry about anything. You
It's my job.
Old bitch.
And it sometimes stinks.
I don't need you. I don't need anybody.
The hospital records you summoned her here, Your Honor. By the way, love your hair.
Thank you, Donna. All right. Mr. and Mrs. Whetstone, regarding the custody of your daughter, Karen. I've read the psych evaluation, and what concerns me is Karen. According to the report, she's a very disturbed little girl. Well, this looks very official. What's going on, guys?
We need a moment, Judge, in your chambers.
Well, can I wait till later? I'm in the middle of a hearing.
There's been a threat
A threat?
against you. Call a recess.
A call came into the main switchboard today about 11:35. It was a male voice. He said, Judge Gray is dead. We know where to find her, and we're going to get her good. Sounded like it was made from a phone booth.
Well, that narrows it down.
Have you rendered any verdicts recently that might be controversial?
Yeah.
My office is handling the investigation. In the meantime, we'll put you under guard. Get a tap on your phone at home and in chambers.
We're adding a state trooper in court, and you'll be followed by an undercover car at all times.
Isn't this overkill? I mean, threats like this must come in all the time.
Judge Ellis was shot to death 2 years ago in the parking garage by an angry plaintiff.
Oh, my God.
We don't mean to frighten you, Judge Gray. We're just not leaving anything to chance. We'll keep you posted.
Stephanie is second-generation foster kid. Her mom was raised in the system, and she abandoned Stephanie when she was 2.
I read her file.
She desperately doesn't want Leo to end up the same way.
She left her baby in a crib and went out all night. She's not desperate enough, Miss Holbrook.
I have been her child advocate for 4 years. I've seen Stephanie go through some horrendous experiences. Numerous foster homes, sexual molestation, physical abuse. She doesn't know what it is to be a good parent because she has never seen one. You people don't seem to understand that. You're the reason why she is the way she is.
I have a 4-month-old infant that deserves to be safe. Stephanie has you. Someone needs to speak for him.
Stephanie is breastfeeding. She deserves a chance to bond with her baby. If your department insists on separating them, you'll have the death of this family on your conscience.
Miss Holbrook, I agree. The system is a disaster, but I'm not the system. I'm Maxine Gray, and my job is to do right by this little boy. So I'm going to ask you, do you really, truly feel that a 4-month-old infant in the care of this young woman will be safe? Because that's what I'm looking at.
I don't know. I hope so.
My mom is a really good person. And she loves me very much. I know that. But sometimes her thinking gets all mixed up.
Can you tell me some more about that?
Well, she used to be okay, like a normal mom. But after the car accident when I was 9, everything changed. Now, she thinks the CIA keeps track of us wherever we go. So we have to move a lot, sometimes in the middle of the night. And we sleep in our car.
Do you go to school, Darcy?
Not this year. We spend a lot of time in front of the Canadian consulate because Mom feels safe there. She doesn't like me to be out of her sight.
Your Honor, when DCF removed Darcy from her mother's custody, they were living in their car. The child hadn't had a bath for some time.
How's your mom treat you?
My mom would never hurt me. She's always saying I'm her only reason for living. She's just trying to protect me, Judge. But she's so worried and scared all the time. And I want to go to school and have friends and be normal. I really love her, Judge. I swear I do. But please don't make me go back to live with her.
Thank you, Darcy.
Thank you. What?
Yeah, you laughed.
The seduction scene's very, very funny.
All right. Yeah, that's good. Oh, no, funny's good.
Uh-huh.
You didn't laugh at the part at the beginning where he's talking about his mother?
No, I thought that was funny. I just laughed to myself.
All right, you don't have to humor me. If you don't like it, I want you to tell me. And I want you to be honest.
Vincent, go away.
Right, okay.
I finished. It was wonderful.
Really?
Vincent, I had no idea you could write like this. I feel like an idiot asking you to write about my dumb boxes.
No, look. I mean, writing is writing. It's even better when you get paid for it. You really liked it?
You're a talent.
I haven't let anyone read anything of mine since college.
Thank you.
Judge Gray, I'm Detective Redlick. I'll be escorting you home.
Oh,
Fred's bringing your car around to the back door. We'd like you to avoid the garage.
well, that's service.
Fred, I've got Jag. We're on our way out of the building. Copy?
Jag?
10-4. Judge Amy Gray. Ready?
Judge Gray, can I ask you something?
Well, I'm just leaving.
It's kind of important.
Officer Redlick, would you excuse us for a minute?
Yeah, I'll just stand over here.
Judge Gray, I just want you to know I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. I appreciate all your support. I think you're doing a great job, too.
Thanks.
Did you want to ask me something?
Yeah. Judge Gray, I'm getting married.
Well, that's wonderful. Congratulations.
And I've been trying to get up the nerve to ask you this all month. Would you perform the ceremony?
Sure. I'd love to. It's
day after tomorrow.
Wow, that's soon. Where?
Hartford Correctional Center. He's an inmate.
I see.
He's in for first-degree murder, but he didn't do it.
Ah.
I'm going to law school at night so I can be his lawyer, get him a retrial.
Terrific. Let me just check my calendar.
Ridiculous. Coming. Simon.
Butterscotch pie.
Oh, how sweet. Come on in. You like salmon, if I remember correctly. I'm trying a new recipe.
Sounds great.
Usually I would just poach it, but then I thought, poach salmon. Everybody poaches salmon. For God's sake, Maxine, get creative. Wine? So I found this recipe that calls for brown sugar, butter, and liquid smoke in one of those absurdly complicated cooking magazines. It's a ludicrous procedure. You score the skin, season it, marinate it for 24 hours. By the time you're finished with the whole process, you feel like you ought to shellac the thing and hang it on the... wall.
I've been wanting to do that for 12 years.
I know.
They didn't have Dolce Vita, but I got Terminator.
You didn't.
No, I didn't, but I wanted to. What's this?
I thought we'd celebrate
Celebrate what?
your brilliant career.
Uh-huh. That's hardly a career at this point, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Did I ever tell you one of my best friends from college, an editor at Random House?
No, you didn't.
Well, she is. Beth Seidman. I called her this afternoon and told her about you.
Chris.
She said short fiction is what's selling now. She asked me to send her your story. I faxed it to her. To your next pushcart prize. Vincent, this is great news. If she likes it, she'll want to see more. You could end up with a publisher.
Yeah, no, I'm right. I guess you're right.
Come on. Let's eat.
Still there?
Yep.
Sorry about all this.
No, hey, I kind of like it. Keeps me from giving in to my baser instincts.
You want to come in?
Sure.
My mother's probably asleep. Not that it matters.
It's okay. Mothers love me. Mothers and four-legged animals.
Really? You know, Bob, I think we can make it from here to the door.
Okie doke, just holler if you need me.
You bet.
You get a lot of work out of this.
You want some coffee?
Sure.
Mom.
Amy, you remember Simon McKinley?
How you doing?
Good. Mom, Simon, this is
Tracy Carroll.
Maxine. Maxine Gray's your mother. Why didn't I know that?
I don't know why. Why would you know that?
Oh, Tracy and I go way back. Still making a buck on the backs of young victims?
Okay, Mom, let's go in the kitchen.
What?
Let's go in the kitchen. Are you drunk?
Are you?
I don't know what's going on, but Tracy is a guest in our house. I can't believe you said that to him.
I didn't invite him, and it's my house, thank you.
What is your problem?
Amy, that man is a fraud. I can't tell you how many cases he's testified in where his judgment was completely off base.
Why does that matter? I am dating him. I'm not listening to his testimony.
He was always late. He never wore a tie, and he jangled the change in his pocket incessantly, not to mention the whistling.
These are not reasons to dislike someone.
He works with unsavory dolls, and he talks to children like they're ninnies. That's who you're going out with.
Mom, I cannot believe this.
Believe it. He's an idiot.
No, what I don't believe is that you're doing this to me.
I'm not doing anything to you. He's bad at his job. If you want to go out with him, well, you be the judge. My salmon's getting cold.
My office is a mess.
I am so sorry. I don't know if it's change of life or what.
I think it's just your mother. She doesn't like me.
No. It's not she doesn't like you. She's just opinionated.
No, I think we can say she doesn't like me. But that's okay. She doesn't like any child psychologists. It's up here someplace. This book on juvenile witnesses is really wonderful. It'll really help you out. I'll just get it, and then we can go back to my place. If that's okay with you.
Yeah. That's great. I wonder how Detective Redlick is doing out there.
I'm sure he's fine.
Well, I've never had a bodyguard. I'm not quite sure of the etiquette.
You know, why don't we just pretend that, he's not there?
Tracy! Did you find that book?
No.
I missed the bus.
Stephanie, you're an hour late. I have to go.
But what about our meeting? We're gonna talk, right?
We were. Unfortunately, I have another appointment.
So you're just gonna use this against me, aren't you? It's not my fault, okay? The bus came early and that pisshead driver wouldn't stop for me. I had to walk all the way from 4th Street.
It was your responsibility to get here on time. I have 48 hours to make my recommendation, and you have just wasted an hour of that.
I want my baby back.
I believe you.
I love him. I do. I love him so much. It's everyone else in this world I can't stand. He's the only one who's there for me.
Leo is not supposed to be there for you. You are supposed to be there for him. Right now, I don't think you understand the difference.
I do. No, I do. And I'm gonna be 18 soon, and I'm gonna get a place of my own and a job. I
You
talked
missed
to this
two of
woman.
Leo's last well-child checkups. He hasn't been vaccinated for hepatitis B, polio, DPT.
It's not my fault. I couldn't get a ride to the clinic.
There isn't always going to be a ride available. No one makes being a parent convenient. Being a parent is a struggle to stay a couple steps ahead of the kid.
Blah, blah, blah. You know, I've heard this lecture a million times before. Okay, you're not telling me anything new. I'm doing the best that I can. And I'm sure as hell doing a better job than my mother did.
What would you do to get your baby back?
Anything.
Would you go to school? Stay in your foster home, follow the rules, make all of Leo's doctor's visits, take parenting classes?
Your Honor, there's no connection between my client's so-called psychiatric diagnosis and her ability to parent. Paula Mitchell is a devoted mother. As you can see, Darcy is healthy and well-fed. Beside the school issue, which he hopes to rectify, there's no evidence of imminent physical danger, no reason for extending the OTC.
Thank you, Mr. Pinelli. Ms. Reyes. The question is it in this child's best interest to be at the whim of a woman who lives in such fear that she forces her daughter to live in a car and pull up stakes at a moment's notice? Obviously, Miss Mitchell loves Darcy. And as Mr. Pinelli has pointed out, there is no evidence of imminent physical danger in the traditional sense. However, given Miss Mitchell's perception of danger or threat and resulting action, there is a real issue concerning her ability to keep her child safe. At this juncture, I'm going to sustain the OTC.
Judge, could I talk?
Sure, Darcy.
Please help my mom. She's all alone now, and I'm afraid she could hurt herself or something really bad could happen to her.
I agree. Ms. Mitchell, I've instructed your social worker to make sure you get the appropriate services and proper medical care. I'm hoping that one day soon you and your daughter will be reunited. It's clear how much she loves you.
Hey, is that you?
No, it's me.
Hi. Lori, right?
Right. You're
I'm Vincent.
right. The author. My mom around?
No, she had to go to the gallery.
So, how old are you anyway?
28. Why?
My mother's very attractive, don't you think?
Yeah, I do.
A lot of people think she's younger than she really is.
This must be weird for you, me and your mom.
Oh, no, I'm used to it. Mom loves a project. Not that you're a project or anything, but she's just that kind of person. She likes discovering people. Men, mainly. So where'd she meet you? Wait, let me guess. You look handy. Hardware store, right? I'm kidding! My mom told me where she met you. Let her know I came by, will ya?
Yeah.
Look, I appreciate all the effort you guys have gone to, but it's been 2 days and I haven't received any more threats and no one's made any attempt on my life. So if it's all the same to you, I'd like to lose the bodyguards.
I think that's a big mistake.
I agree. We don't know where the threat came from.
We may never know. This is family court. Let's be honest, some days half my courtroom wants to see me dead. But what am I going to do, walk around with armed guards the rest of my life?
Our usual procedures to keep the security up for at least a week before we reevaluate.
Judge Ellis
Was a tragedy, but he drove around with personalized license plates that said, I'm a judge. I mean, come on.
We'll keep the investigation open at Hartford PD.
It's fine. Now, if you gentlemen will excuse me.
How about I follow you home?
Oh, Bruce. No, I appreciate it, but to be perfectly honest, I'm looking forward to a little bit of privacy.
All right, then. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hi. I was hoping you hadn't left yet.
I had some dictation to do.
Can I come in?
Sure.
I suppose you're wondering what happened last night.
A little bit.
Well, I just wanted to say it wasn't you. I like you a lot, Tracy.
You know, if this is one of those, it's it's not you, it's me conversations. Let's just cut to the chase.
No. I don't mean that. I mean, I'm attracted to you.
Huh? Likewise.
So what happened last night was just one of those strange anomalies that can only be explained by the moon or the cop outside or my mother.
You know, your mother and I may not see eye to eye on most things, but I...
Look, let's forget about my mother. Let's start all over again. Tonight's a whole new night. You know what? I can't do this. I'm sorry.
Just because your mother doesn't like me?
No, of course not. Okay, well, that bothers me a little bit, but that's not the problem.
I understand it's your first time since your divorce.
No, not really. Look, if we do this, it means something.
Doesn't have to.
No, I mean, I can't do it without it meaning something. And I don't think I want it to mean anything. I'm sorry.
I think I preferred the it's not you, it's me version better.
My daughter belongs with me.
Miss Mitchell, you should not be here.
You did this. Why? I don't understand.
I don't think we should be having this conversation. If you want to...
Oh, I did everything I was supposed to. I kept my mouth shut. I didn't call the Canadian consulate. They jammed my radar. They told me to stay in my car. And you stole my baby.
Miss Mitchell, this is a big mistake. Darcy needs you to keep it together. So be her mom and put the gun away.
You destroyed that. She's not mine anymore. I have nothing. Do you want to know what that feels like?
No, please, listen to me. Darcy loves you. She just wants you to get better, and then you two can be together.
We'll never be together. No, please. No, please. It's over.
Well, thank you very much, Detective. The cops found her barefoot and disoriented on McCadden. He admitted her to county psych ward on a 5150.
Amy, how could you have not told me about this? I'm your mother. Don't I still get to know when you're in trouble?
Ma.
Someone threatens your life and you don't mention it to me?
I didn't want you to worry.
Why? There's no statute of limitations on worrying about your kids. Just because they turn 18 and drive and drink and vote, you don't stop worrying. This happened in our garage.
I'm sorry, Ma. The threat just didn't seem like such a big deal.
Amy, the people that come into your courtroom every day are filled with impotence and rage. It's inevitable that the
Oh, Ma,
folks...
please don't lecture me. I don't think I can take it at 6 o'clock in the morning.
I lecture you because you won't listen. You have a very dangerous job.
I know that, Ma. I know. I'm 35 years old. I don't need you to tell me how to do my job or whom to date or how to fix my hair. I'm an adult.
Then act like one. You have more to think about than yourself.
I have to take a shower.
I don't tell you how to do your job, and I would never presume to tell you whom to date.
Oh, no? You having short-term memory loss now?
If you don't want my opinions, I'll keep them to myself. As for your hair, well, the way a judge is perceived affects her ability to do her job. That's a fact. I guess I just hoped that since we lived together, we could be honest with each other.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's not doing anyone any favors. So it's not.
Why bother to talk at all, then? We could just write each other notes on stickies when we want to communicate. Here's one now.
Oh, that's nice, Ma. That's really nice. Okay, you want to talk? You go first. Let's talk about you and Simon. What was that the other night? A date?
It wasn't a date, it was dinner.
I saw you, Ma. I saw the look on your face.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We all knew about you and Simon. At least I did.
What?
It was so obvious whenever you two were together. And poor Dad, he always thought Simon was such a great guy, and then meanwhile...
That's enough! If you want the truth, I'll tell you. Simon McKinley and I came to care for each other 15 years ago. It was a difficult time for both of us. Your father was depressed, Simon's marriage was ending. We needed each other. But you listened to me. Nothing sexual ever happened. I was never unfaithful to your father.
Well, that's great, Ma.
Have you been writing all night?
Yeah.
Good. I just got off the phone with my friends, the Waldemers. Invited them to dinner tonight.
Okay.
I want you to be here, Vincent. I think they could be very helpful to you.
Really?
They're very well connected. Duncan's a professor of literature at Yale, and Muriel's a big fundraiser for public TV, so they know everybody. Duncan specializes in semiotics, so feel free to mention that class you took on Finnegan's Wake. Do you own a suit?
I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it.
Oh, well, next week then.
Chris, I appreciate the fact that you liked my story. I more than appreciate it. But I'm not gonna be anybody's project.
My project? But because I sent your story to a
You have
friend?
no right to send my story to anybody without asking me first.
Okay, I guess I should have checked with you. I was just trying to help.
I need your help. And I don't need a suit.
Vincent? What's this?
It's the entire catalog of Chris Osborne decorative boxes. Hope they're a big success.
Go to hell.
Mrs. Gray? Mrs. Gray, thank you. Thank you so much for giving me my baby back.
The babies belong with their mothers if their mothers are willing to try.
I'm gonna take such good care of him, I promise.
You damn well better. Because if that baby so much as gets the hiccups, I'll personally find a loving family who will care for Leo the way you say you want to. With me, you get one chance to be good at the most important job you will ever have in your life. Do you understand that? Please say yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'll see you next week. 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Sharp!
Do you, Donna Kozlowski, take this man, Oscar Ray Pant Jr., to be your lawful wedded husband, for richer and poorer, in sickness and health, forsaking all others, for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Do you, Oscar Ray Pant Jr., take Donna Kozlowski to be your lawful wedded wife, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, forsaking all others, for as long as you both shall live?
You bet.
Donna tells me that you've written your own vows.
That's right.
Oscar, you are my everything. Meeting you changed my life and gave me a purpose. I love you more than I can express in words. You are my noble knight, locked away in the dungeon. I will forever be your princess. You complete me.
Donna, my one love, my beautiful angel, you've given me hope. In the depth of darkness and despair, the light of your love, show me the way. You light up my life. You give me hope to carry on. You light up my days.
I didn't cry that much at my own wedding. I don't know what happened to me. It was just so simple and uncomplicated. It's just two people really connecting with each other. And you know what? It wasn't about sex. They will never consummate that marriage. It was about two people really loving each other.
What's he in for?
Heck, his mother to death with a meat cleaver.
Nice.
These people don't have commitment problems.
Is that what's wrong with you?
I don't know. I don't think so. I really tried with Tracy. But I found myself almost sleeping with him just to show Mom. And it occurred to me that was a big mistake. I wasn't ready. He was the wrong guy. I just wanted to go home and watch TV.
I know exactly what you mean. I blew up my relationship today.
Why?
And no good reason. Because I was afraid.
What?
I don't know. Her expectations. Yeah, I saw who she wanted me to be. I knew there was no way I could live up to that. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. I married that.
I knew I shouldn't get involved. That we can never be together without it meaning something. Stupid. So I ended up hurting her.
It's weird what happens when a marriage dies. They say it's the end of a dream. I think that's true.
It's precisely why I've never gotten married.
Yeah, but just because the dream dies doesn't mean you stop dreaming, does it?
We had Mom and Dad as role models. They were married for, 27 years? You think we'd be better at this sort of thing?
Yeah. Yeah, you think. I guess what it comes down to is nothing's perfect. And nothing's easy. Starving. How many cases till lunch?
Just one.
Good. Stand back and observe how fast I can work when my stomach's involved. Mr. Dobbs, you're on.
Your Honor, I'm representing the Attorney General for the preliminary hearing regarding the DCF's petition to terminate parental rights of one Ann Featherstone to her son Evan.
Is Miss Featherstone here?
She's right here, Your Honor.
Go on, Mr. Dobbs.
Mr. Axelrod, father of Evan Axelrod, has provided DCF with extensive information that the Attorney General believes will amply demonstrate Ms. Featherstone's unfitness as a mother, as well as a clear and imminent danger to her child.
Child's age?
He's 8 years old, ma'am.
Mr. Axelrod,
Yes, Your Honor.
did the Attorney General accurately represent your position?
Yes, ma'am. I don't think my son is safe in his mother's care.
Now, I see here that you never married Miss Featherstone. You've had very little contact with your son. Why are you taking this action now?
Because it's only recently that the boy's mother has become a witch.
What?
A witch.
Mr. Axelrod, I think you'll have to qualify that statement.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
This is just a show cause hearing, Miss Featherstone. You'll have plenty of opportunity to present your side of the story. Mr. Axelrod, when you say that she's a witch, you mean... What do you mean?
I mean, she's a witch.
Miss Featherstone, what's going on?
He's never been a part of Evan's life, or mine. He sends a check whenever he feels like it. Suddenly, he's gotten married, and now he wants to be a father. He can't just take my child away like that. Please, don't let him manipulate you, Your Honor. This is a vicious...
Hold on, Miss Featherstone. First, I need to clear something up. Why does he think you're a witch?
Well, technically speaking, I am a witch.
Two kids, boy 16, girl 15. School nurses reported incidents of chronic bruising. Teachers have reported incidents of acting out, inappropriate sexualized behavior. Anyway, the family's name is Compson. They live over by Westbourne.
Just a moment. That name is familiar.
Well, they're repeat customers. DCF investigated the same family 5 years ago.
But they lived in Marlow.
That's right. They moved to Westbourne 2 years ago.
I worked that case. We went out a couple of times. but nothing was ever established.
Well, unfortunately, most of the paperwork's disappeared. Was there evidence of abuse?
It was inconclusive. Judge Cranston believed she's just accident-prone defense.
What do you think was really going on?
I wasn't the lead investigator. I inherited the case. The oldest boy would beat up on the girl. She'd beat up on the neighbor's kid. Something was very wrong in that family.
Well, if that's still the case, try not to miss it this time. Get out there for a family clinical assessment.
I hope the third kid is having an easier time of it.
Third kid?
A toddler, little boy. He had that condition with the, pediatric myopia. Wore the Coke bottle glasses.
Wrong family. Only 2 kids there.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Next saying the information is clear. And you don't always have to be right.
I don't mean dumb fakos like in a white cheek going, ooh. I mean real dead people. Get lost, kid.
What are you guys talking about?
You can't listen. You're too young.
I'm in the 1st grade. I stay up until 9 o'clock.
Okay, if you really want to hear, I'm talking about the ghost of the redcoat.
There's no such thing as ghost.
Oh, yeah? He was a British soldier in the Revolutionary War until one day he was captured by the Bluecoats and thrown into the dungeon. All they gave him to eat was one tiny little bowl of porridge every day with bugs crawling around in it.
Bugs?
Hundreds of bugs. After a while, he got so weak he couldn't stop the rats from eating him. First they ate his eyes, then they ate his tongue. Now, every year at Halloween, the ghost of the redcoat comes back. He goes by every house, looking in the windows, looking for kids to get, especially little girls with long hair. And if he catches you looking at him, he kidnaps you, and he steals your voice, and he locks you in a dungeon for the rest of your life.
Wicca is probably the oldest religion in the world. Thousands of years older than Christianity.
It's not a religion. It's a bunch of nutcases who run around in the woods in long robes with deer antlers on their heads.
Don't interrupt, Mr. Axelrod. This conference may be off the record. Doesn't mean I'm not in charge.
Your Honor, we might practice some elaborate rituals, which to an outsider might seem strange, but you can say the same thing about Catholicism.
Catholics don't chant and cast spells.
No, they just light candles and pray to saints. What's the difference?
I'm warning you about these outbursts, Mr. Axelrod.
Your Honor, I mean no offense, but are we gonna get a history lecture on Wiccanism?
Yeah, if your office is going to allege that Ms. Featherstone's practice of witchcraft is dangerous to her son, then I have to know what witchcraft is. Now, Ms. Featherstone, continue.
Your Honor, the word witch gives everyone the wrong idea. We don't go around putting hexes on people. We're just trying to live in a way that's closer to nature.
Your Honor, I move for a summary dismissal of this petition at this time. The Attorney General has not come remotely near the suggestion of any substantive concerns that justify violating my client's civil rights.
Mr. Dobbs, so far, I haven't heard anything that represents a danger to the child.
I'm getting to that, Your Honor. Last month, Miss Featherstone discontinued administering an antibiotic that the boy's pediatrician had prescribed for an ear infection. Mr. Axelrod took the boy back to the doctor, got him back on the medicine. Medical reports indicate that there could have been permanent hearing loss imminent.
We have records stating that the boy's situation was never that serious.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Go ahead.
Your Honor, these people are insane. They chant and offer burnt offerings to weird pagan gods you never heard of. It's crazy, and I don't want my child exposed to it.
For 8 years, you never cared what he was exposed to.
And you're sick. You need help.
You abandoned us. You're using this to steal my child. What you're doing is sick. It's evil. Your Honor, can't you see that?
I'm not on trial here, Anne.
Okay, calm down. I'm going to set this for trial. But I want to hear evidence, not mudslinging. Parental rights are at stake here, and I want you all to treat this with the seriousness it deserves.
I miss your office hours?
Ah, there he is. Favorite wretched ink stain. Miserable literary genius.
No, I'm not miserable. Miserable is when I was taking your class.
I'm always hardest on my best students.
Did anybody actually fall for that? So what's a big mystery? Why'd you call me?
I've finally had a chance to read your stories.
And?
You want the truth?
No. No, I don't know. I know. I want to hear that they're brilliant.
The truth is they are brilliant.
Really?
Vincent, I've been betting on you for years. Periodically, an agent will call me to see if I'm onto anything new. So I took a chance and sent your stories. Apparently, the Board of Geniuses at Artists' Literary Talent responded to your work.
Artist literary talent.
Yeah.
Really?
One of the agents was a fellow English student here. She remembers you. Her name was Hillary Baker.
Hillary Baker?
Mm-hmm.
No.
What?
Hillary Baker is the single most evil entity I've encountered in my life.
So she became an agent. So what else is new?
I don't know how long I could work with this Susie Nixon person. She treats me like I'm an idiot.
The world is full of annoying people, Mom. Just try not to be one of them. That's what you used to tell me.
She never talks to me. She talks at me.
Can I be excused now?
I'm ready. You haven't eaten anything.
I'm not hungry.
Kitchen still open?
When is it not?
My roommate's breaking up with his girlfriend again. I'm kicked out.
Those two need to get married.
You know, Vincent, I've never even seen this phantom apartment. I don't think it exists.
You come by at your own risk.
Can I go watch TV now, Mom?
No. Stay and visit with us. Hey, guess whose mommy is going to a PTA meeting tomorrow night at your school?
Whose?
Yours.
I'd rather be burnt at the stake than go to one of those.
Yes, you have made that abundantly clear my entire life.
Those meetings have a diabolical effect. Normal people turn into tyrants. It's just like high school with the cliques and the conspiring.
Well, I want to be part of the clique. I want to feel like a normal mom. Besides, we're going to be talking about the Halloween carnival. It should be fun.
Well, maybe the PTA has changed since my day.
Any of you thought about what you want to be for Halloween? It's coming up.
Not really.
Vampires are always cool. Long fangs, big cape, lots of fake blood.
I don't know.
I can tell you from first-hand experience that the trick-or-treating in this town is first-rate. It's pure junk. None of that healthy stuff like apples.
Maybe I shouldn't go trick-or-treating this year. I think I'm growing out of candy.
Growing out of candy? What have you done with my daughter?
Besides, it rots your teeth.
Honey, you love Halloween. It's your favorite time of year.
Can I be excused now, Mom? I really want to watch TV.
Sure. Okay. That's not normal.
Give her time, she'll come around.
Yeah, but what if she doesn't? We can't miss Halloween. It's like missing Christmas.
Don't worry, Amy. I'll go trick-or-treating with you.
You know, it's this damn witch trial. I bet she heard something about it at school. That's why she's so scared.
Witch trial?
I didn't say that.
Amy?
I gotta go talk to Lauren.
She did say witch trial.
It's been known to happen.
So what's the occasion? I thought I wasn't allowed to walk into class.
I just felt like it today.
You thought any more about Halloween?
No.
You go as a cowgirl. I went as a cowgirl 3 years in a row. I could teach you to say, reach for the sky, partner.
No, thanks.
Lauren, what's wrong? What are you afraid of?
Nothing. Mommy, can I get my hair cut short?
What?
I'm tired of long hair.
Since when? Honey, I love your long hair. It's beautiful. Sweetie, I wish you would tell me what's bothering you.
Promise you'll think about it? Me getting a haircut?
Yeah. I'll think about it.
I gotta go. Bye, Mom.
Kiss.
When I think of all our taxes paying your salary, the way we've had to struggle to raise our children properly, well, it hurts to have our home invaded like this.
The DCF doesn't choose who we investigate. We're required to follow up on all reports. But you probably know that based on your previous experiences with DCF, don't you, Mrs. Compson?
That was years ago and nothing ever came of that.
No school for you today?
I'm sick. She has asthma. It flares up every now and then.
Teresa's school nurse has stated that she's concerned about excessive bruising. Any idea where that's coming from?
We play field hockey in gym class. I bruise easy.
She's got thin skin. It's hereditary.
Teresa, is there something you want to tell me?
What's going on?
This is Maxine. She's a social worker. My husband works nights. He usually gets up around this time.
I see. Where's your son, Kenneth?
In school.
And the other boy?
We don't have another boy.
Well, Mrs. Compson, you probably don't remember this, but I came to see you 5 years ago on assignment. I looked a little different, less gray, a couple pounds lighter. I distinctly recall you had another son. I think his name was Timothy.
The neighbor's kids played in our house a lot. Maybe you're thinking of that.
Maybe so.
Mr. Axelrod has learned that Ms. Featherstone sometimes conducts her Wiccan ceremonies in her home, ceremonies that Evan might have participated in.
Is that true?
It's true we have ceremonies.
What do those ceremonies entail?
Different things.
Give me a for instance.
Well, first we cast a circle to sanctify the space, and then we'll bless it with the elements, calling in the watchtowers of the north, south, east, west.
I see.
And then we might invoke certain gods or goddesses or other deities. It depends on what you're doing that day.
Is Evan ever involved?
You might watch, but that's all. I swear. It's completely harmless.
Satanic rituals are harmless?
Objection! No one mentions Satan.
Your Honor, Satan is derived from Christian philosophy. We don't acknowledge Satan on any level.
Your Honor, once again, these questions focus on Ms. Featherstone's religious observance and therefore are inadmissible as evidence.
Yeah, I agree. Move on, Mr. Dobbs.
I'd like to present another witness, Your Honor.
Your excuse, Miss Featherstone. State your name.
Joanne Arnold.
You realize you were sworn in earlier and you were under oath.
Yes.
Ms. Arnold was Evan's babysitter until recently.
Why did you stop taking care of Evan?
Because I got scared about what was happening in that house.
Joanne, that's garbage and you know it.
Ms. Arnold?
Make her stop looking at me.
I fired her for stealing $140.
I never took anything from you.
Okay, calm down, Ms. Arnold. Just tell me what happened.
Oh, I happened to tell her that I was worried about my boyfriend, who was starting to act interested in other girls. She told me that she could cast a spell on him, and that made me scared.
Miss Featherstone, did you cast a spell?
Your Honor, a spell is just our word for a prayer.
She said that it would make him impotent with other women.
See, they hate men. And she's passing that on to my son.
Mr. Axelrod.
And her name is not Featherstone, it's Murphy. She changed it after she got involved with the witches.
This is totally irrelevant. Again, Your Honor, I demand that Miss Featherstone's religious beliefs are protected.
You're taking some liberties here, Mr. Carr. It's protected in theory only. Wicca is not an established religion in this state.
I'd like to present another witness, Your Honor.
No.
No.
Approach the bench. You're excused. We're getting nowhere with this. A scared babysitter is not a substantial witness. You cannot bring me a parade of people to impugn this woman's character.
I agree, Your Honor.
And you're trying to convince me that Wicca is in the same league as the Rotary Club. Well, it's not. I need to view this case rationally, and to do that, I need rational evidence. Now, I'm going to set one more day for this trial, during which time I better hear something worth trying.
Well, Vincent, Hillary speaks very highly of your work. She's only been with us a few months, and she's already brought us some promising clients. I've learned to trust her instinct about writers.
I can't argue with her instincts.
You're a short story writer, I understand.
That's right.
Won the Pushcart Prize, then dropped out of sight.
Well, I needed some time to think.
I see. Well, I have an appointment, so I'll leave you two alone. If you impress Hillary, then you impress me. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Senior agents. They like to stick their nose in the room and take credit for my work.
A maneuver you're familiar with.
Really, Vincent? I thought you might at least finish a coffee before you brought that up. Look, I did not steal your story. There are similarities, sure, but there's nothing new under the sun.
Let's see. Blind widow starts to believe her husband has been reincarnated in the form of a young Iranian boy. No, you're right. That's a universal story.
Okay, whatever happened in the past, let's put it aside. Okay, it's water under the bridge.
If you say so.
Vincent, do you know how many slender volumes of finely wrought stories are published every month to a giant collective yawn? Taking you on will mean work for me. But I'm a good agent. I can get you published. You want that?
Yeah, of course I want that.
One concern, though. Publishers nowadays, they're pretty much only doing these 2-book deals. That means I've got to trust that you won't have another breakdown like you did in college and leave me to deal with some angry buyer. Can you reassure me of that?
I need to think about this. I need to think about all of this.
Okay. You go think. I'll drop the papers.
So I told her that my son is the best 6th grade swimmer in the school, and if she hadn't seen it, well, it's her problem.
Excuse me, is this decaf for real?
Oh, we only serve decaf. I mean, show me another 11-year-old that can get close to his times.
I'm Amy Gray. I'm a new mom. I mean, new at the school, not at being a mom.
Oh, you're the judge. I've heard about you. I'm Nancy. This is Farah. Who's your child?
Lauren. Cassidy.
Wait a minute. Lauren in Miss Schlewe's class? With the long hair and the big eyes?
Yeah, it's Lauren.
She's adorable. Oh, my son, Clive, is in love with her.
Wow, that sounds scary.
We'll have to get them together for a play date.
Great. I'd like that.
Good.
Lauren, what are you doing?
Cutting my hair.
Give me those, please. You are not allowed to handle scissors.
I told Mommy I wanted to cut my hair.
You may not cut your own hair.
It'll take Mommy too long to understand.
Understand what? Lauren. What?
I don't want the ghost to see me and take me away and steal my voice and lock me in a dungeon.
What ghost?
Mad soldier ghost. He locks you in a dungeon away from your family. They say he looks for girls with long hair.
Lauren, there's no such thing as ghosts.
Yes, there is. Darian says grown-ups can't see them.
Who the hell is Darian?
A boy at school. He's 9.
Don't you ever worry about anyone locking you anywhere.
How can you be sure?
I'm sure. I'm old. I've lived long enough to see everything. And if there were ghosts who hurt little girls, I would know.
Why?
Because I raised a little girl. Your mommy. She always had long hair, and she never saw a ghost. Another thing, when I pick you up at school, would you, introduce this Darian to me?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the first order of business is the Halloween Carnival, which is fast approaching. I'll turn it over to Nancy, who is head of the committee.
Several parents and I feel that we should issue a directive to our children this year indicating what kind of costumes we feel are appropriate. No violent action figures, no gangsters, nothing sporting a weapon. Also, no ghosts, monsters, vampires, witches, skeletons.
Come on, what does that leave?
Plenty of things. Disney characters, princesses, sports figures, well, except, of course, for Daryl Strawberry. Just keep in mind that if your children show up at the school party in inappropriate costumes, they will be asked to leave.
I guess I'm confused. Why are we doing this?
We feel it's not a good idea to encourage violence given the current climate in schools.
Well, but that's different. That's not about Halloween.
Oh? What is it about?
I'm sorry. I realize I'm new here, but this seems like a bit of an overreaction. In my work, I see disturbed children all the time. I can't point to a case where the behavior is linked to Halloween costumes.
Look, Miss Gray, committee members have been discussing this for months. Perhaps if you had joined the PTA earlier.
Okay. I should have done that.
If I could move on to the next agenda item.
Please.
We feel that this year the haunted house should be canceled, and we should replace it with a fun house.
Oh, please. Is no one else concerned about this? You're depriving children of their imaginations. You're taking away the fantasy, the fun. You're censoring them.
Miss Gray, do you want to be in this meeting?
What?
We're all in agreement here. You're holding up the process.
Are you kicking me out?
We do have a lot to get done tonight. We'd be happy to have you stay if you could cooperate.
You mean behave?
Miss Gray, we are perfectly aware that there is a witch trial underway right now in local court.
I can't talk about that.
And if you're trying to argue that our concerns are overblown, this isn't happening in another place, right here in our town. Cult members raising children.
Look, if this is going where I think it's going, you don't have to kick me out because I can't be here. It's against judicial ethics.
Well, that's your call.
They hated me.
I warned you about the PTA.
I've never been kicked out of anything, ever.
Ballet.
Well, except ballet. My teacher was a lunatic.
Summer camp.
I suggested a few reforms.
You let all of the horses out of their stalls.
It was cruel to keep them locked up.
My point is that you're a leader. Leaders don't make good joiners. Try and stick with what you're good at.
For once, I'm not going to fight your advice.
Talked to Lauren last night. I figured out her problem. Some kid at school scared her to death with a ghost story.
That's why she's avoiding Halloween.
And she still doesn't want to go.
Well, I'll talk her into it.
Amy, let her sit it out if she wants to.
Mom, fear is a very dangerous and contagious thing. I have to teach my daughter to work through it, not run away from it. You should know that. You'd never run away from anything.
House calls. Is this what agents are doing nowadays?
I live in Connecticut, Vincent. No one can afford to live in the city.
What's this?
Agency papers, just standard contract. That is if you want to risk signing with us.
Thanks. I'll have my battery of high-priced attorneys go over this.
I was thinking we should discuss your story collection.
Yeah, why? Aren't they finally wrought enough?
I think they should be a novel. Short stories are impossible to sell, and their day is come and gone.
It's not a novel.
Well, I think it should be. They're all linked, right? Smooth them up into a novel. And I think we could take you on.
It's the first time you mentioned turning the collection into a novel.
Hey, look, if you enjoy obscurity, stay there. Or maybe you want to take me to dinner and explain to me why you should not compromise your pristine vision, and who knows? I could be persuaded.
Hillary, I'm sure that there are those people that are turned on by this kind of manipulation. But I'm not one of them.
Hold on to that, okay? For when the dark night of the soul kicks in.
Mrs. Baxter?
Yes?
I'm Maxine Gray. I'm a social worker. I'd like to talk to you about your former neighbors, Noel and Angela Compson. Do you remember them?
Yes, but I haven't seen them or heard a word about them in the 4 or 5 years since they moved.
Ever have any arguments with them?
I doubt I had more than a dozen conversations with them.
Did the children seem okay?
Nobody in that house seemed okay. It got worse after the youngest died.
A little boy?
Right, the one with the thick glasses.
He died?
They used to leave him out in the yard like a pet. And then one day he went away. We stopped seeing him. My husband asked, and Mrs. Compson said he was very ill. When we never saw him again, we just assumed he died.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Dobbs, have you any more witnesses today, or can we start to wrap this up?
Well, none that you've approved, Your Honor.
Yes, I didn't feel the need to hear from the gas station attendant who claims Miss Featherstone put a hex on him.
Your Honor, I have a witness that I would like to present. I have invited Lyle Warner, an attorney with the Wiccan Anti-Defamation League, to join us.
There's actually such a thing as the Wiccan Anti-Defamation League?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I welcome a voice of reason. Ms. Warner, you've been sworn in?
Yes.
Did Mr. Carr explain that Miss Featherstone's parental rights are at stake?
Yes, I'm often asked to provide background in legal cases where Wicca is involved. I've reviewed the case thoroughly.
And you believe Miss Featherstone is being unfairly accused because of her beliefs?
No.
No?
We are very selective about who we defend, and we're not willing to take up her cause.
Your Honor, this testimony is not what we prepared.
I was only asked to testify. No one told me what to say.
Your Honor, the witness has turned hostile.
Mr. Carr, let me hear her testimony.
Your Honor, Wicca is only just starting to step out of the shadows. We can't afford to put forth a negative public face. Miss Featherstone's behavior does not fit our profile. She isn't our type of person.
Are you saying Miss Featherstone is a bad witch?
Yes, that's what we're saying.
Here it is. Birth records on the Compson family. Mother, Angela H. Father, Noel P. Children, Kenneth J. and Teresa K.
Just 2.
That's right.
I see. Any death records?
Not in the immediate family.
Thank you. Is there any reason you would not have a birth record?
Oh, sure. But babies born out of state or at home, for example, not at a regular medical facility. And some people actively avoid creating any records for their kids. Paranoid types, mostly.
Okay, that's it. I've given this trial as much serious attention as I intend to. There's no obvious sign of abuse. Court's adjourned today. I can't hear any more evidence.
I'll simplify it for you. I'm not going to fight Mitch anymore. I just want to surrender my rights.
Well, we really need to discuss this in court.
There's no more discussion. I won't come back.
I better come inside. Miss Featherstone, if you terminate your parental rights, you may never be able to see your son again. So think about what you're saying.
Judge Gray, I know I'm not the best mother, but I love my son. I always figured that made up for a lot.
I've always figured that too.
Today I was fired from my job. I've been there for 4 years. I'm pretty sure it's because my boss found out I was a Wiccan.
They can't fire you for that.
Actually, they have plenty of reasons they could fire me. I'm not exactly the world's best waitress.
Okay, but that's just a job. You can always get another job. You can't replace your relationship with your son.
My own congregation turned their back on me.
Well, there was politics.
There are the phone calls and the hate mail. Last night, someone broke all the windows in my car.
We'll get the police. We'll post around-the-clock guard. I'll file for an order of special protection.
Judge Gray, I know why all this is happening. Because I've never chosen to behave like other people. I didn't marry Evan's father. And I have all these strange beliefs, which to me don't seem strange. But I live differently, and that scares people, and that is not going to change. I can't risk it. I have to protect my son. And he is safer if I'm not his mother anymore.
Miss Featherstone, I'm going to forget that you came in here today. I want you to go home. I want you to think about what Evan means to you and what life not being his mother would be like. I'll see you in court tomorrow.
Murdered. They killed that child. And I think there's evidence of it somewhere in that house. There's no birth record, so it's easy to cover up.
Maybe there's no birth record because there's no child.
Miss Nixon, I remember him. And the former neighbors confirm it.
Neighbors are suggestible.
There's no reason to doubt these people.
Maxine, we barely have enough evidence to investigate abuse. Now you want to start searching for a dead kid. Why don't you call the police if you're so convinced?
You know why.
Because there's no probable cause.
And DCF doesn't need probable cause. This job relies heavily on instincts and perceptions and hunches.
I forbid you to go back to that house.
I can't walk away from this a second time.
I will personally arrange a restraining order if I have to.
Ms. Nixon!
It's over!
Hey, what are you doing here?
Told me to stop by sometime this week, so I'm stopping by.
All right. The Like, all I got is peanut butter and banana sandwiches.
That sounds good.
Coming up. You want a soda?
Sure.
Afternoon delight. Yeah. Who's Hillary Baker?
Oh, that. She's an old college acquaintance. She works at this New York literary agency now. They want to sign me.
Vincent, that's great.
It's not so great, actually. I'm not gonna do it.
Why not?
I knew her in college. She's a bad person.
How bad?
There are people that you don't like, right? And then there are people that bring down the quality of the human condition.
Okay, that's bad.
It gets worse. We had this one tequila-related incident. Me and Hillary in college.
And you feel like you have to pay for it the rest of your life?
I just feel like if I use her to get something that I want, it's like making a deal with the devil.
There are bad guys everywhere, Vincent. Who do you think I deal with?
Amy, your job is different. There are things more important than success. I mean, I believe that. Self-respect is worth something.
Fine. But if you let the devil stop you, then the devil wins. I mean, doesn't she?
My parents aren't home.
That's all right. They don't need to be.
You can't just come in here.
Actually, I can.
Well, stop her, Kenneth.
Go call Mom.
What are you afraid of?
You're just not supposed to be here, okay?
Teresa.
I told you to go call Mom.
What's in here? Do you have a key?
No!
May I ask why you don't want to work with Hillary?
I don't feel comfortable.
I've got to say, I don't feel comfortable bringing you in without her. You were her idea, you know.
It's a deal breaker for me. That's all. I would be really happy to sign with ALT, but there are other agencies.
Oh, really? Which ones?
I don't feel at liberty to say.
You're making this difficult, Vincent. We haven't even taken you on, and you have demands. Makes me worry about the future.
If you would just take a look at my work, I would appreciate that. And I'll accept any decision that you make. Thanks.
You're certainly going out on a limb here. Hillary must really rub you the wrong way. It would help if you told me why.
I'd rather not.
You can't be down here. My father doesn't let anyone down here.
Why not? What's your father hiding?
Hiding nothing.
Timothy?
We have to start. Where's your client, Mr. Carr?
Ms. Featherstone has informed me that she is no longer contesting Mr. Axelrod's charges.
Your Honor, Miss Featherstone's failure to appear is tantamount to abandonment.
That's unacceptable. She cannot walk out in the middle of a trial. I'll subpoena her.
Ms. Featherstone has disappeared. She wrote me a note saying that she left the state, won't return.
Well, Mr. Axelrod, it looks like fate is on your side today.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Axelrod, under the circumstances, I have no recourse but to grant the DCF's petition and award you full custody of your son, Evan. But I am far from happy about it. Clearly, you are fit parents, but the charges you brought against Ann Featherstone instigated a full-scale witch hunt. She was literally run out of town. There is nothing in this situation for you to be happy about, nor you, Mr. Dobbs. This is a travesty. I am granting custody, but I refuse to terminate parental rights. Ms. Featherstone can come back and contest this decision at any time. The child lost his mother because of hate and hysteria. We can't do better than this. Why even have a judicial system? What's the point?
Bad day?
I needed to wind down someplace before going home. I'm not ready to be a mother and a daughter just yet. Where's your roommate?
He's getting back together with his girlfriend. Watching their antics makes me glad to be alone.
Nah, you need a girl.
Well, I had one. I screwed that one up, I told you.
You didn't tell me about her.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She was just this smart, beautiful, funny, talented, rich woman. Not my type.
You miss her?
When I let myself.
You know, it's funny. It's only at the end of a really bad day that I feel lonely. Just need someone to make me laugh.
Hey, I'm working on it.
And rub my feet.
I made you a drink. That's all you get. Hello. Yeah. Oh, hi. I see. Well, thanks. No, it's great. I appreciate that. Yeah, I can do that. All right, thanks again.
Who was that?
That's my agent.
The devil?
No, the devil's boss.
How'd that happen?
I took a chance. I went over her head. Huh. Wow, it worked.
Hi, Mommy.
I didn't mean to wake you up.
It's okay.
You know, I've been thinking about Halloween. I think maybe you should go as an angel. Because angels, you know, scare away ghosts.
They do?
Absolutely.
Can I have wings?
Wings, halo, the whole bit.
What will you be?
An angel's mommy. What's up?
Can't sleep?
Yeah, me either. It's a bad day.
Bad as they come.
You saved that kid, Ma. I heard.
He might be beyond saving. If I had pushed harder the first time.
Don't. You can't anticipate a thing like that. It's not human. He has a chance now.
They said they did it because he wasn't normal.
Let's make pancakes.
It's 2 a.m.
So what?
That's a very good point. You mix, I'll flip.
You always flip.
My house, my rules. I know it's early, but if I call any later than 8, no one answers the phone. I'm sure she's busy. We're all busy. But if she can't get back to me by the end of the day, I'll be happy to talk to her supervisor. Alrighty then. Thank you. I'd rather have root canal than have to deal with one of these motivationally deficient piss ants at SSI. Eliza, I was just going to return your call.
Well, what an amazing coincidence. I just saved your quarter.
Good morning, Seth.
Good morning, Maxine.
What can I do for you?
You can get off your butt on the Dexter case.
The Dexter case?
Kevin Dexter, 8 years old, deaf. Father died 5 years ago. 6 months ago, mother died in a car accident. Teenage brother is his guardian. Ring a bell?
I'd like to say it rings a bell, but I've been inundated with cases since I got back.
There's a problem. The situation with the older brother is falling apart. As his guardian ad litem, I think you should pull the kid.
Oh, Dexter, here we are. What is the problem? Custody's not up for review for another 2 months.
The kid stopped signing. His teachers are saying he's refusing to communicate in American Sign Language.
Is that an emergency?
Yes, that's an emergency. He's profoundly deaf, Maxine. Without sign language, he'll be cut off from the world.
While I take your point, I'm not sure a judge will feel that this little boy is in imminent danger.
Fine. You don't have to take my word for it. He's not even going to school anymore. Come see for yourself.
I can't just pick up and leave first thing in the morning. I've got a huge caseload.
What are you waiting for?
Hang on.
A writing job?
A job teaching writing.
Vincent, that's great.
I don't know.
What?
Probably gonna be teaching a bunch of arrogant, overeducated graduate students.
So what? It wasn't so long ago you were an arrogant, overeducated student yourself.
Yeah, that's the problem. I remember what they're like.
Vincent, I give you permission to be happy about this.
Oh, yeah? Okay. No, you're right. It is kind of cool. I do have some definite ideas about writing, and now I'll have an audience that actually has to listen to me.
They're gonna love you. Have you told Mom yet?
I can't bring myself to. She'll be too happy. A real job. Oh, you look at all of this old stuff.
Oh, it's my trumpet from 6th grade band. I always had such a great embouchure.
I heard that about you. Oh, Dad. Classic insurance salesman. Saves every receipt and scrap of paper he ever got. Letter from Aunt Rose. Thank you for the fruit basket. Well, I'll miss Uncle Buddy so much, but he's in a better place now. 1967. April 16th, 1962.
What is it?
It's a letter of acceptance to Yale Medical School. For Dad.
You were a kid when he died. How much could you have known?
So you knew?
Mommy, I don't want peanut butter and jelly.
What do you want? Turkey? Well, I'm not surprised. He was a smart guy. I mean, I didn't know he applied to medical school, but...
No, I want to buy lunch. It's taco day.
Applied. He was accepted.
Please.
Why would anybody choose insurance over medicine?
Take a quarter. Now put this in your pocket and don't lose it.
Thanks, Mommy.
Can you even imagine Dad being a doctor?
Yeah, he was a math science whiz. He used to help me with my chemistry homework. Vincent, you didn't know Dad the way the rest of us did. He wasn't always that tired, withdrawn guy. It was a lot of fun.
Somehow I miss that.
I know. It wasn't fair. Good luck tonight, Professor Gray.
Bye, Uncle Vincent.
Bye.
Look, I absolutely cannot get here before 8:45.
All I'm saying is it would help you out in the long run. Judge Melvoin gets in before 8.
Judge Melvoin is 100 years old. I doubt he's making lunch and doing carpool and looking for lost shoes every morning.
He might be looking for lost shoes.
It's not easy, Bruce. You wait until you have kids. You'll see. You become very intimate with your shortcomings.
Shortcomings? I thought you were perfect.
Almost.
Hello? Anybody home? Hello? The housekeeping leaves a little bit to be desired.
Charming.
Maxine! Hey, Kevin. How are you? Where's Pa?
Kevin, I'm Maxine Gray. I'm your new social worker. We're just here to see how you're doing. Why aren't you at school?
See? 3 months ago, I had a whole conversation with him in sign language. And a month ago, I got this. He refuses to sign.
Why?
He told me he doesn't want to look different.
What about his brother?
His brother never learned to sign. I got a call from Kevin's teacher. He rarely attends school, and when he does, he refuses to participate. I called your predecessor numerous times, and nothing was done about it.
What are you doing here?
I'm Maxine Gray, DCF. Miss Spears was concerned about Kevin and asked me to visit.
We're fine, okay? Fine. We don't need you.
Paul, why isn't Kevin going to school?
If I miss the alarm, he does too, that's all.
How often is he here alone when he doesn't go to school?
Landlady checks on him. Anyway, my shifts change all the time. Sometimes I'm here, sometimes I'm not. Can't afford a babysitter. He's a good kid. He doesn't get in any trouble. Go put some clothes on, okay, buddy?
Paul, why are you encouraging him not to sign?
I'm so sick of this deaf chick hassling me, you know? And who appointed her guard?
The court appointed her guardian ad litem for your brother. It's her job to look out for his best interests. She's concerned, so am I.
It's not against the law not to use sign language. If Kevin doesn't want to sign, why should he? You know how many times he's had the crap beaten out of him at school because the kids think he's a freak? And you people keep coming back here. Just leave us alone, okay?
There are only two pieces of fiction that matter. Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald and The Essential Roomie. You don't have to listen to anything I say, but if you want to be writers, you got to go out and buy those books. Okay. All right. So let's talk about what writing is. For how many of you has writing been a lifelong dream, or a need, an urge, or something that you'd indulge in only if you could find the time? You all signed up for the Art of Fiction class, right?
Yeah. He didn't say anything about having to buy extra books in the catalog.
Are we getting late tonight? My husband's taking care of the kids. I told him I'd be home by 9.
The evidence indicates that baby Eric is 23 months old now. He was abandoned by his mom. Dad's deceased. The baby's grandmother had custody until she suffered a severe heart attack. Lynette and Joe Chase have been Eric's foster parents for the past 17 months. They adopted Eric's older sibling, Aliyah, 4 years ago. Our plan is for the Chases to adopt Eric as well.
Well, from your report, Eric is obviously thriving, bonded, and developmentally on schedule.
Sounds like DCF has done its job. I see no reason not to endorse this placement position and to schedule the final hearing on the termination of parental rights.
Excuse me. My apologies, Your Honor, but this case came up faster than expected.
This is the custody hearing for baby Eric.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm Thomas Horn. I'm representing the grandmother in this case, Mrs. Beverly Raymond.
Did you file a motion, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. I filed a motion to intervene, which wasn't docketed.
Intervene, why?
Mrs. Raymond would like to regain custody of her grandson.
What?
This is the grandmother who had the heart attack.
Yes, Your Honor. My client was Eric's caretaker for 6 months. She's now both physically and financially able to provide for him again.
When did you file this motion, counsel?
2 weeks ago. I had a hearing this morning, and I just happened to look at your docket. I phoned Mrs. Raymond immediately.
Clerk's office made a mistake.
Judge, we need to provide a permanent home for Eric as soon as possible, given Mrs. Raymond's failing health.
My client's health is fine, as you can clearly see. And due to a generous life insurance payment after her husband's death, she's of substantial means.
I'm going to continue this matter until evidence can be heard. In the meantime, I'm ordering parental assessments on both the Chases and Mrs. Raymond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Maybe it's just that they're beginners. They haven't learned to think like writers yet. However, that is...
It's an incredibly generous assessment. These people couldn't care less about writing. And I'm exactly the wrong guy to teach them. They're gonna have to find somebody else.
Oh, come on. It'll get better.
Yeah, this is the problem with having a real job, okay? You have absolutely no control over your life. Already I'm miserable, just like Dad was.
He wasn't miserable.
He was an insurance salesman. How could he not have been miserable? He left early every morning and came home mad every night. What do you call that?
Working. Being a grown-up. He had a family to support. I happen to have a regular job, too. It hasn't ruined my life yet.
I am not afraid of working. What I'm afraid of is settling.
You're teaching writing. You're a writer. How is that settling?
Those who can, do. Those who
Oh,
can't.
Vincent, don't be stupid. This is an opportunity for you to talk about the thing that you love most in the world and get paid doing it. I think you're overthinking the whole thing.
Dad could have been a doctor. He could have healed people. He could have saved lives, made a difference. Instead, he was this pathetic Willy Loman type who worked his ass off and died too young.
Okay, I don't know what drama you're living in, but it's not the one that I remember. I mean, come on, look at Peter. He loves doing what Dad did, carrying on the family business. Nobody forced him.
This is precisely what scares me. Maybe it's a family trait.
In the past 17 months, Eric has become a real member of the Chase family. He's established a close relationship with his big sister, Alaya. He calls his foster parents Mommy and Daddy. He's seen very little of Mrs. Raymond since her heart attack when he was 6 months old.
What is your assessment of his relationship with his grandmother now?
He was agitated being separated from his foster parents and appeared stressed during the interaction with her. My sense is that he doesn't have a relationship with her.
That's because they won't let me.
Mrs. Raymond, there'll be a time for you to speak later on.
Dr. Singer, isn't Eric's discomfort with Mrs. Raymond normal for any 2-year-old who hasn't spent much time with his grandmother?
Yes, it is.
But with more time spent together, wouldn't it be fair to expect that Eric could establish a lasting bond with his biological grandmother?
Possibly.
And what about the importance of the shared cultural experience between Mrs. Raymond and Eric? I mean, shouldn't that be a consideration?
You mean the fact that they're both African American?
Yes. And all that would go with that.
I believe that what is important for a child is security, consistency, and love. And whoever can best provide that makes the best parent for a child.
Shared cultural experience. Here we go. Somebody's always trying to make race an issue.
Isn't it?
It's not supposed to be. Not in adoption cases, not since 1995.
It can't be the determining factor, but you can't ignore it.
Right? What?
Nothing.
As in any other custody case, the decision I make will be based in the best interest of the child.
You're the judge.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means it's none of my business.
This experiment in sibling guardianship has been an abysmal failure. It's my recommendation that Kevin Dexter be removed from his brother and placed into a home where he'll be encouraged to sign. To not do so would be to blatantly disregard the best interests of this child.
I'm sorry, Judge. Miss Spears and I seem to have a bit of a disagreement on this issue.
Really?
I feel we may be precipitous in changing custody at this point.
Precipitous my ass. Excuse me, Your Honor. But I've been on this case since you appointed me 6 months ago. Miss Gray, however, didn't meet Kevin until yesterday.
Maxine, I'm disappointed in DCF. I see numerous phone calls here from Kevin's teachers, counselor, doctor, regarding his care. No one appears to have followed up.
I'd like to follow up now, Your Honor. I need more time.
No more time.
I'm sure I seem like some kind of rabid deaf activist, but I'm not. I just know what it is to be isolated.
These boys lost both their parents. What additional kind of trauma do we create by separating them?
What kind of trauma are we creating by keeping them together? Who does he talk to when he's sad or afraid? His own brother won't even bother to learn his language.
I agree that's a problem, but does it constitute an emergency?
Okay, that's
Yes.
enough. Looking at Kevin's file cumulatively, there's a disturbing pattern here. Missing school, doctor's appointments, a filthy living environment, lack of proper supervision. It all adds up to failure to protect. Let's get the child into a safe home for the time being. I'll schedule another hearing on it tomorrow.
Thank you. Maxie! I'm sorry. I had to do what I think is right.
I know, and I don't agree with you. These boys love each other, and this is wrong.
An elderly woman, 64 years old, hypertensive, diabetic, had a major heart attack. Given these facts, would you say that a recurrence is likely?
If Beverly continues to reverse her risk factors, I would hesitate to put her in a high-risk category.
Even so, best case scenario. What's Mrs. Raymond's projected life expectancy? It's less than 10 years, correct?
Just start digging the hole right now, why don't you? Your Honor, may I say something? I may not be any spring chicken, but not one of us knows how long we have to be on this earth. Mr. Newman there might step off the curb tomorrow and get hit by a bus.
I get your drift, Mrs. Raymond. Dr. Bittman, anything else?
Only that I see no reason why Beverly Raymond couldn't see 75, 80, or beyond. She's a tenacious woman with a lot of grit and a good sense of humor.
Well, that's self-evident. Thank you. Come in.
Sign these, please. You need me for anything else?
No. Thank you. Bruce, is everything okay?
I just wanted to say that
Judge Gray, you're still here.
I'm fine. See you tomorrow.
Yep, I'm still here.
Great.
Is there something you wanted?
I wanted to thank you again for marrying me and Oscar.
Well, you're welcome, Donna. But you've already thanked me numerous times, and we're still eating that cheese ball at my house.
Oh, good. I have the recipe if you want it. It makes a wonderful Christmas gift.
I bet. Well, I'm gonna head out.
Judge Gray, Oscar's request for a conjugal visit has been denied by the warden.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oscar's so depressed. He doesn't even want me to come visit anymore. It's just too hard for him. Can you help us?
I wish I could, Donna, but I think it'd be inappropriate for me to get involved.
We're allowed one appeal, and someone of your stature calling might really make a big difference.
I really feel uncomfortable.
You're right. You're right. I'm so sorry. I crossed the line here, didn't I? I'll go now.
Just tell me who to call. See what I can do.
Oh, thank you.
I thought you left.
My battery died. I'm waiting for a cab.
You need to jump?
No, it happened this morning. My car's in the shop.
You want to live someplace?
No, thank you. I'll be all right.
Bruce, it's freezing out there. Let's get in the car. But tell me when to turn?
Up the road, another mile.
Oh, you're close. Into the court, I mean. I'm just trying to make casual conversation.
Don't do it for my sake.
You're a barrel of laughs, honey. It's my experience that when certain things go unspoken, they fester, create misunderstanding, resentment.
What are you talking about?
You, this, the silent treatment.
Turn right up here.
Bruce, if this is about the adoption case...
Judge Gray, you're my boss. That's our relationship. Thanks for the ride. Hey, how was your day, huh? It was good? Good. You cooking? You got something to eat? I tried to get the Wexlers to mediate that divorce settlement. No go, they want you to rule.
Why didn't you tell me you had a daughter?
Wasn't pertinent.
I talk about my daughter all the time. You know everything about me down to my shoe size, and you don't bother to tell me you're married and you have a kid?
I'm not married.
Oh.
Say, Homer, what's up, man? He's not here. They already came and got him.
You gonna give up?
You guys have been trying to get Kevin since my mom died. You've won.
That's right, we did. Because you didn't even put up a fight. Eliza Spears and DCF have been after you to clean this place up and get your act together for 6 months. Must not have mattered very much to you.
What do you know?
I know that when your mother and Kevin were in the automobile accident, and only he survived, you never left his hospital room. You slept in a chair next to his bed for 2 weeks.
He's afraid of the dark.
Doesn't sound to me like someone who doesn't care. Your teacher told me that you dropped out of high school to get a full-time job to support your brother.
I had it all figured out. Everything was going to be just the same as it was before my mom died. Some kind of hero then.
What happened?
I don't know. It's too much.
A big part of DCF's job, believe it or not, was to try to help to keep families together. You were 16 years old, and your mother died. And all anybody worried about, including you, was Kevin. But you were hurting too. There just wasn't time to feel it. We let you down, Paul. All of us. You were acting so grown up. We forgot you were just a kid, too.
Eric was my baby for 6 months. When he was hungry, I fed him. When he was tired, I rocked him to sleep. He was my little boy. My blood. He should be with me. That's his first Easter.
Clearly, you're still very attached to your grandson, Mrs. Raymond.
Yes, I am. He's never been out of my mind, not for one moment.
Mrs. Raymond, you also have a granddaughter, don't you? Elia, the little girl that Chase has adopted?
Yes.
Why did you surrender custody of her?
That was 4 years ago. My husband was ailing. I couldn't care for both of them. It still breaks my heart. I lost her.
There was no other family member who could take her in?
Not at the time.
Can you say that the situation has changed? What if you had custody of Eric and you were to have another health crisis? What's to prevent him from ending up back in the system?
Eric would be raised in a community of people that love and understand him. And if I got sick, that community and the insurance money from the death of my husband would make sure he was well taken care of.
But none of these members of the community are relatives?
No. Not exactly. But they would be tied to him in a way no white foster family could ever be.
You ever wonder if Dad would have been happier doing something else?
Nope. I don't think his generation thought that way. He started doing it, he was good at it, stuck with it. Norma!
I remember coming here sometimes with him at night when he had extra work to do. He let me sit at his secretary's desk playing with a typewriter. And everything seemed so big and impressive.
It is impressive. Built his own company. That's not easy.
I just never understood what he was doing. I still don't.
He was selling insurance.
Yeah, Peter, I get that. I just didn't understand why. He never seemed to like it very much.
People's houses burned down, Dad'd be there with a big check in his hand the next day. He got to be the hero. Sure, he liked it. That's what convinced me to sign up. See, Vincent, people think of insurance as this dry, boring thing, but they're wrong. They don't realize what a people industry it is. I solve people's problems every day. Give them hope where yesterday there was none. I go home every night and feel good about what I do. And I'm sure Dad felt the same way.
You know, Dad was accepted at Yale Medical School.
What?
I found this letter the other day.
Well, thank God he resisted that impulse.
What does that mean?
He would have hated that. 8 years of grunt work in medical school, and unless you're a specialist, you always end up working for other people. He built this place. This was his baby. He answered to no one.
You really do like this job, don't you?
Yes, I do.
I fell in love with Eric the moment I saw him. He looked so much like my Elia, same big brown eyes and same fat little toes.
And the two of them, brother and sister, are crazy about each other. Joey and I feel like we have our dream now. You know, a family. And the thought of losing it. You know, Eric calls me Mommy. And he doesn't care what color my skin is. He just knows that I'm the one there in the middle of the night when he wakes up crying. Or picks him up when he falls down. Or puts a Band-Aid on his skinned knee. He's been my baby for 17 months. And to take him away from us and his sister is beyond cruel.
But there are significant cultural differences.
And I am aware of them. Which is why we bring our kids to a black church and why Elia goes to an ethnically diverse school and have many people of color in her life. I am aware of my limitations as a white mother, Mr. Horn. But they should have no bearing on my ability to give my children unconditional love, a stable home, a father, and a future.
Warden Maloney, thanks for taking my call. Yes, I'm calling regarding one of your prisoners, Oscar Ray Pant Jr. Yes, that's right. That's right, we met at the wedding. Right. Well, I'm calling because Oscar's wife has informed me that his petition for a conjugal visit...
An extended family visit.
Excuse me, an extended family visit has been denied. I'm wondering if there's anything I can do to help their case. Yes, I'm aware of his background. Hacking one's mother to death is a very serious offense.
No, he didn't do it. He loved his mother very much.
But from what I understand, Mr. Pant has made a serious effort to turn his life around. He has his GED, he sings with the prison gospel choir.
He writes beautiful poetry.
He writes poetry. He married a wonderful woman. Shouldn't that kind of effort be rewarded? Counsel present. Mrs. Raymond, Mr. and Mrs. Chase. Thank you. Well, most children who come into my courtroom have no one to care about them. But this case gives us the opportunity to do something special, to allow Eric the best of two worlds. And if you all are as determined as you are sincere to do what's best for him, I see no reason not to take advantage of that. So I'm proposing a compromise. I'm granting custody to the Chase family with regular post-adoption visits for Mrs. Raymond. Now, I'm not stipulating the specific parameters of this agreement. I leave that to both parties. But I won't sign the decree until a proposal is submitted.
Your Honor, my client is this child's grandmother. This state provides special consideration for grandparents. My client's rights are being violated here.
Mr. Horn, decisions that protect the interests of the child always trump someone's right.
This so-called compromise will create an incredible amount of confusion. Who's got final say, the Chases or Mrs. Raymond?
Mr. and Mrs. Chase would remain the prime authority.
And how does that allow Mrs. Raymond any kind of influence?
Children need one clear set of directives, Mr. Horn. We are not splitting this child in two. I think this could be a win-win solution.
Does that mean I get to see my granddaughter as well?
It would seem patently unfair for one child to develop a relationship where the other one has nothing. However...
Elia's already adopted. She's outside the jurisdiction of this case.
Well, that may be. But given the realities of the relationship, let's hope common sense prevails. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I think Eric's going to be a lucky little boy to have so many people who love him and want to be in his life. So discuss a schedule and report back to me. You can make this work. I'll schedule the case for review in 3 weeks. Let's take a 10-minute recess.
Court recess, 10 minutes.
Okay, so now you want to tell me what your problem is?
I don't have a problem.
Bull. You've been pulling that passive-aggressive stuff on me for the last 2 days, and I am sick of it.
I can't help it if you have some unreasonable need for my approval.
Approval? I don't have a need for your approval, Mr. Frosty. But I do need to work closely with you every day. And if you can't be honest with me, I don't know how this is going to continue.
Well, maybe it's not going to.
Maybe it's not. Oh, I get your MO, Bruce, right? You disengage because it's easier that way. You don't actually have to struggle with the hard questions.
I don't have to struggle with the hard questions. I disengage because if I allow myself to get emotionally involved with each case, I can't be professional. Do my job.
That's a total cop-out.
Okay, you want me to engage? Fine. You made the wrong decision in there, Judge Gray. You doomed that kid to a lifetime of confusion.
I gave that child a loving, stable home.
With parents who can't possibly begin to understand what it means to have black skin in this country.
The law does not allow me to factor in racial politics into my decision, Bruce. I have to look at what's in the best interest of the child. Taking him away from his foster parents and sister would really hurt that kid. To say nothing of the grandmother who could die at any moment, leaving him with no one.
Identity isn't taught, it's lived. You learn how to cope with racism by living with people who learn how to endure in spite of it. You think that white couple has any idea where to begin? It's going to take more than attending a black church or an occasional visit from grandma.
Well, maybe I am idealistic enough to hope that maybe someday we can live in a society where race isn't always the bottom line.
Until you have a child come home and tell you she was called a nigger, you can't understand how impossible that is.
My little brother is all I have left in my family, Judge. I know I screwed up taking care of him, but I'm gonna do better now, I swear. Please don't take him away from me. Thanks.
Your Honor, may I speak?
Go ahead.
As an employee of DCF, I'm embarrassed to say the department could have done considerably more for these boys. There were services never provided to Paul, and he was overwhelmed. I don't think that he knew he could ask for help. He knows that now, and I believe that he can do it.
What about Kevin's ability to get along in this world? As a member of the deaf community, I have seen so many deaf people out there who have the intellectual capability to reach for the stars, but have been stunted because nobody feels that their education is important. Just like Paul feels that it's not important to learn sign language.
I'm gonna learn sign language.
For deaf children, the better the signing skills of the family, the better chance they have for achievement. There doesn't seem to be much hope for Kevin if he stays with his brother.
All right. The issue at hand is the failure to protect.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Kevin wants to say something. My brother is the best big brother in the world. He makes me hot chocolate every night. He taught me how to throw a curveball. He really takes good care of me, but he needs me too. I'm the one who reminds him to feed the fish, and now they're all gonna die. And at night, when he's really sad, who's gonna hold his hand? I'm sorry I stopped using sign language. I didn't want the other kids to think I was weird. I promise I'll use my sign if you let me go home to my big brother.
I'm in him.
Thank you, young man. Okay. I'm inclined to award temporary custody to Paul Dexter, provided that he remain vigilant in caring for his brother, and that all the services you've promised, Miss Gray, are put into place by next month. Miss Spears, I would like you to remain as Kevin's guardian ad litem and keep this court informed as to his progress. I'll see you all on the 23rd.
Do you want to talk about it?
No.
Are you angry?
I'm doing my job, Maxine.
Eliza, you got what you wanted. Kevin's signing again, and Paul's agreed to learn.
That will be enough.
What are you talking about?
I know what it's like to be invisible. It was so hard. And I thought we could make sure that Kevin wouldn't have to go through that.
He'll be fine. He has his brother in his corner. Someone to love him, to keep him from being invisible. When I first met you, you were about his age. Skinny little girl. You were with that foster family out in Farmington.
I hated them.
I know. That's why I pulled you out of there.
Yes, you did.
You were a smartass, but I knew you'd be okay. You were tough. Funny and tough. I see in Kevin the same thing I saw in you.
A pain in the ass.
You did a good job.
You too.
Wow. Can't believe it's really gonna happen. Thank you, Judge Gray.
Well, I'm glad to be of help. He didn't say when exactly, but I
I'll
imagine...
call the prison and find out.
All right. Okay, then.
Judge Gray? I was just wondering, is there a book you could possibly recommend?
A book on...
Sex.
Oh, Donna, is this your first... Oh, that's so special.
I've been saving myself for the right person. It's taken me some time. I'm just a little nervous. I want it to be memorable.
Memorable. Huh? Yeah, memorable we can do.
Thank you, Vincent. This door's been driving me crazy. You're so good at this stuff, I don't know where you get it.
It's from Dad.
Your dad? Your dad was useless when it came to the house.
What was all that hammering down here?
Well, he always had his little crafty projects, but I could never get him to fix anything.
I have no idea who Dad was. Why did he settle for being an insurance salesman?
Your father never settled for anything. He did what he wanted.
What about medical school? He got into Yale.
How'd you know about that? There was a time when he thought that maybe medicine would be a good thing to do. The week he was accepted, we found out I was pregnant with Peter.
So he just gave it up. His dream.
No, he traded it for a different one. Your father was a pragmatist, Vincent. What he wanted more than anything in the world was a family. That was his real dream. What gave him joy. He couldn't see becoming a doctor and missing out on so much of all that. He loved his kids. When Amy was born, I thought, perfect, one boy, one girl. But your daddy wanted another one. So he finally talked me into it.
What are you saying? You didn't want me?
Just in the abstract. You grew on me after a while.
Yeah, what did Dad want me to be?
Happy.
Here's the only question that matters. Does writing make you happy? Does it make you feel alive? Do you bound out of bed ready to discover something? Or do you approach your writing as if it were a heaping pile of spinach?
Well, my writing's a heaping pile of something. What if you hate everything you write?
Just put the words on the paper. Flannery O'Connor said that if you survive childhood, you got enough material to write about for the rest of your life. Everything is material, absolutely everything. From your mom, who thinks that she's fooling everybody by sneaking out to the shed to have a smoke, to your dad, who taught you that everything worth anything in life is a trade-off. It's details. You know, when you recognize yourself in the work, that's when a reader's inspired to say, yeah, that's how it is. And we realize that we're not so alone.
Okay, let's talk. I don't like this tension. I like to think that I can get along with anyone. But when race becomes an issue between us, I don't know how to respond.
It's not an issue. It's a fact.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You mean you want to be more comfortable? Well, there's a reason they call it racial tension. We're always going to have a different point of view.
I've worked in 2 male-dominated professions. You think I don't know what discrimination is?
Look, I don't want to get into a victim contest with you.
All I'm saying is that I don't think we're all that different. Would you have talked to a male judge the way you talked to me this afternoon?
Yes, I would. Maybe not.
Thank you.
But don't think that makes our experience the same. It doesn't.
Well, you say potato, I say potato.
You say what?
Never mind.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. and Mrs. Voce were divorced 5 months ago when Mrs. Voce was pregnant with their now infant son, Joseph. Now, according to the terms of the divorce, no major medical decisions can be made without mutual consent. Unfortunately, we have hit an impasse.
Already? How old is the baby?
5 days.
What's the medical emergency?
Mr. Voce would like his son circumcised. Mrs. Voce is opposed.
You telling me you can't work this out between the two of you?
No, we can't.
Didn't you discuss this before the baby was born?
Well, from the ultrasound, the doctor said it looked like we were having a girl.
There's a bit of a time constraint, Your Honor. According to Mr. Voce's religion, the child must be circumcised on the 8th day after his birth.
He's not Jewish, Your Honor. He's Catholic. He converted.
That doesn't matter, Sam.
Okay, look, you still have 3 days. I think you owe it to yourselves and to your son to spend another 24 hours working on it. I want you to go home and talk about it, and I can see you again tomorrow afternoon. I know that's cutting it a little short, but... It's a bad choice of words.
I think down the street.
Down the street? No, here.
Yeah.
Because, I'm new in town. No, relax.
Get off! Get off! I'm not just...
Hey, what's going on? Hey, get your hands off. You all right?
I think so. I don't know.
Are you hurt?
I think I'm okay. Oh my god. Oh my god, you're just gonna kill me.
Okay. Oh, God, you're bleeding.
Man? No, it's you.
Oh, my God. I think he shot me.
My son has been shot. His name is Vincent Gray. Tell me where he is.
Just a moment.
I want to know where he is now.
You'll have to wait just a second.
You must be insane. My son has been shot. I'm not going to wait. Now, where is he?
Ma'am, your son is with the doctor. I can't let you back there if you'll just have a seat.
That's funny.
Ma'am, you can't do that.
Sorry.
Ma'am. Ma'am.
Well, you've used up one of your lives, Mr. Gray. A fraction of an inch, and we wouldn't be having this conversation.
I didn't even feel it. I feel it now.
Yeah, a rush of adrenaline, a release of endorphins, and you don't even notice the pain.
Vincent, thank God you're all right. Are you all right?
I'm fine. How did you find out?
I have friends at the police station. They called me.
I wish they hadn't done that.
Is he really okay?
He's a lucky man. Bullet grazed the inside of his chest wall.
Are you admitting him?
No, ma'am, he's not seriously injured.
Well, what about internal bleeding?
Mom.
No major organs were involved. A fraction of an inch and the bullet could have punctured a lung or put a hole in his heart. As it is, he'll be fine.
What happened?
I was at the grocery store in the parking lot. This woman was being attacked. I tried to stop it.
How the hell could a thing like that happen? In the middle of the day at a grocery store.
Mom.
The crime in this city is out of control. Didn't I just pay taxes so that they could put more police on the street?
Mom, calm down.
Did you talk to the police?
Yeah.
My God. This place is going to hell in a handbasket.
Can I get a tranquilizer of some sort?
Sure, if you think you need it.
It's not for me. For my mother. Hey. What are you doing here?
I just wanted to come and thank you.
You didn't need to do that.
You saved my life.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Except I can't get it to stop.
What?
Vincent? Vincent? It's me.
I was dreaming.
Yeah. So I gathered. I brought you some tea. You think you can drink it?
Yeah.
Mom called the courtroom. She left a message with my CSO. Vincent shot. Everything's fine. No need to come home.
Oh, I wish she hadn't called. I'm fine. She, on the other hand, has a basket case.
Oh, can you blame her?
The only way I could get her to calm down was by promising to spend the night. I'm sure that was a mistake.
No, it's good. You have to let us take care of you. But first I have to get mad at you.
What?
Vincent, don't walk into a situation like that. If you see there's trouble, you get help. You call the police.
There wasn't any time.
You came this close to getting killed.
But I didn't.
But you could have.
Amy, it happened. It's over.
God, Vincent, when I think about losing you...
You don't have to. I'm not gonna die, Amy. I can't get out of finishing my book that easily.
You're a really sick man. You know that?
Vincent, I can't believe this.
Are you okay?
Hey, guys. No, I'm fine. Alive and well.
This is why people have guns. If you had a gun on you, that son of a bitch would have never been
I'm
able
not gonna get a gun.
Peter guns are not the answer, believe me.
Which market was it?
Corner of Center and Weaver.
Oh my God, I shop there all the time.
Vincent, do you happen to remember the name of the officer you spoke to?
No.
Was it plain clothes or uniform?
Mom, whatever you're thinking, stop.
I have connections. It can't hurt to grease the wheels a little.
Good idea.
Mom, I mean it.
Your brother needs to rest.
Think about that gun thing.
Why do I think getting shot was the easy part?
Hey,
Hi.
how's your brother?
He'll be fine. Thanks for asking. What's up first?
Sentencing hearing on the Robert Chetwynd case.
Today?
You set the date.
Well, that was before Vincent was shot.
We can put it off.
No, let's do it.
I'm late, I know. I had a personal emergency to deal with.
Everything okay?
Fine, except I'm sure the colonel is going to have some words for me.
You're in luck. Susie's out sick.
Thank God. I mean that in the nicest possible way.
I should have figured you two weren't going to be best friends.
Yes, when you talked me into coming back here, you neglected to tell me that I'd be working with the female equivalent of Genghis Khan.
Oh, come on. You love being back here.
Yeah. I didn't need those extra years tacked onto my life. Aaron and Mimi Carter. 4-year-old son. The paternal grandmother says the mother's insane, emotionally abusing the child. Oh. So now the parents are required to please their mothers-in-law. Who can do that?
Maxine, are you sure you're okay? You seem kind of jumpy.
My son was shot.
Maxine.
Vincent. He was, trying to stop a robbery. He's fine. He was very lucky.
Are you sure you want to be in here today?
Yes, because if I sit still, I'll start to think terrible things. Like how hard is it to hire a hitman, and do they take credit cards?
But Vincent's okay, right?
I think he's the least affected of all of us. He just wants to move on. Why does God allow children to be smarter than their parents? What kind of a trick is that?
All rise for the Honorable Amy Madison Gray. Be seated.
Who are all these people?
Interested parties and spectators, mostly family members of the victim. The cops are heavily invested in your ruling.
We're here for the sentencing hearing in the case of Robert Chetwynd. Mr. Chetwynd was found guilty of manslaughter in the death of 10-year-old Jennifer Marquardt, which occurred during a gang-related drive-by shooting. I have the sentencing memoranda of both parties. The prosecutor's recommending state prison for 10 years, and the defense is recommending commitment to DCF for 4 years. Does either side wish to present evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Does the prosecutor intend to offer any victim impact statements?
Yes.
We reserve our right to be heard in argument, Your Honor.
Very well. Bring in the defendant.
Murderer!
Murderer! There we are, folks. All right. Everybody, stay in your seat. Back in your seat. Please, sit down. Quiet, sit down.
Can't just scare the potatoes. You gotta really smash them. Pulverize. Get out all the lumps.
Mommy used to pour them out of a box.
Don't tell me that. I don't want to know that about my sister.
Sit down, you. I don't need your help.
No one in this family can mash potatoes but me.
Vincent, I mean it.
Mom, I've been sitting around like an invalid all day. There's nothing wrong with me.
Does it hurt to get shot?
No, not really.
Your uncle was very lucky. The truth is, it hurts very much to get shot.
Mom.
You want her to grow up thinking that getting shot is like scraping your knee?
Mom, you're scaring her.
She should be scared of guns. And if you ask me, you're not scared enough.
Something smells good.
Uncle Vincent and I are smashing potatoes.
She should be up.
Don't you start to.
How's court?
It's fine.
Anything interesting?
Nothing I can talk about.
Amy, we can't do this if you keep sticking your fingers in there.
Sorry.
I found out who's handling Vincent's case. Detective DeJean at the 4-2. He's a good man. I know him a little.
How'd you find that out?
I know people. I asked.
Mom, I don't want you doing that. I thought I told you.
You should call him, make sure he's following up.
Why don't I just let him do his job?
Because the police are snowed under with work. They let things like this slide. Tell him, Amy.
They let things like this slide.
Really? Cops mess up?
You're just going to let this lunatic roam the streets, looking for more victims.
No, after dinner, I'm gonna slip into a phone booth and turn into a superhero. Then I'm gonna go about restoring justice to the northeastern United States.
And parts of Canada.
No, I don't do Canada. Not enough crime.
Amy, I'd like a word with you. What the hell are you doing? This is not something to joke about.
People have different ways of dealing with things. I'm taking my lead from Vincent. If he wants to joke about it, I'm going to joke about it.
He's in denial.
It's part of the process. Let him stay there as long as he needs to.
You're a judge. And you're teaching your daughter that violence is not something to be taken seriously.
What do you want me to do, Ma? Take her aside and say, guess what, sweetie? This could all be over in the blink of an eye?
Honest to God, there are times when I feel I don't know you.
You just figuring that out?
I'm sorry that you had to come out here because of this. The fact of the matter is, my mother-in-law just doesn't like me. She never has. Isn't that right, Aaron?
My mother doesn't like anyone.
Do you know why she thinks you are emotionally abusing your son?
Because she doesn't approve of anything I do. She didn't want me to send him to a Montessori school. She thinks it'll make him a sissy. I'm raising him as a vegetarian. That bothers her, too.
And Terrence is how old?
He's 4.
And he's doing well in preschool?
His teacher says he's one of her brightest students.
And I assume you have no complaints about Mimi as a mother.
She's a great mother.
The problem is, I'm just a little more progressive thinking than most people, certainly more so than Aaron's mother. She's very three-dimensional.
As opposed to?
Well, Aaron and I are fourths, and so is Terrence, naturally.
Fourths?
We're not restricted to the same time-space continuum as everyone else.
You aren't?
Honey, Miss Gray doesn't want to hear about that.
Why not? I'm not ashamed. I didn't do anything wrong. Aaron had a bad experience because he was abducted by a negative strain. But my encounter was with the positive strain.
Strain?
Of aliens.
I see.
It wasn't my choice. It happened right after Terrence was born, and nothing has been the same since.
How so?
Well, I am completely unstuck in time. I move in and out, which makes me very susceptible to alien contact. Would you like some more coffee?
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Your Honor, Robert Chetwynd sits before you convicted of manslaughter, and yet he killed no one. He didn't shoot Jennifer Marquardt. His biggest mistake was being in the wrong place at the wrong time. He did not know that these people, these gang members, were planning an assassination that day. And he certainly did not know that an innocent young child would die as a result.
Mr. Harbert, these arguments were rejected during the trial. He has been found guilty as a joint venturer in this killing. What I need to hear from you now is why Mr. Chetwynd should be sentenced as a juvenile rather than as an adult.
I'm getting to that. The most glaring fact, Mr. Chetwynd is a juvenile offender. He's 15 years old.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. You have to do better.
It's his first offense.
Yes, but it is for manslaughter.
Your Honor, the defendant didn't just fall in with the wrong crowd. He was a member of the gang.
No, not officially a member.
What does that mean? He hadn't earned all his badges?
He realizes he has done wrong. He feels remorse. He wishes he could take that moment back, but he can't. He's now throwing himself on the mercy of the court, and we beg you to consider leniency in this case. Mr. Chetwynd has spent his life in and out of foster homes. He has no family, no role models. In state training school, he has a chance to be rehabilitated. In prison, he will learn to become a hardened criminal.
He already is a
Mr. Marquardt, I can't begin to imagine your loss. However, if you can't control yourself, I'll have to remove you from this courtroom. Mr. Harbert, you requested funds for an independent psych evaluation. I seem to be missing the paperwork on that.
Yeah, my psychologist hasn't completed his investigation.
I thought you were prepared for this hearing.
To be candid, I expected him to be here today.
Did you summons him?
No, ma'am.
Okay, well, we'll take a 30-minute break so that you can contact your prospective witness. In the meantime, I expect you to get your act together.
Yes, Your Honor.
We'll hear the victim impact statements after the break.
I should have ordered more of these. This is Jennifer's school picture. She was 10 years old when it was taken, 2 months before she died. Jennifer was a smart, happy girl. She played the piano, and she was gifted too. Her teacher told me that she had never seen any girl of Jennifer's age with that much natural talent. She was learning to play the violin. Her father and I had hopes that she would have a career as a musician. She wanted that too. She used to say, "Mommy, I just want to play music forever because it makes people happy." I almost told her not to go outside that day. I wanted her to help me cook dinner, but I thought, she's young, let her play. So I let her go. If I hadn't, my baby would still be alive.
I take it the two of you could not reach a decision.
No, we couldn't, Your Honor.
We talked about it.
We prayed about it.
He prayed about it.
Obviously, Your Honor, these two people simply cannot get past this, and given Mr. Voce's strong religious beliefs...
In all fairness, he's only had these strong beliefs for less than a year.
I don't see what that has to do with anything. Your Honor, the clock is ticking.
Mr. and Mrs. Voce, this is not the kind of decision you want a judge to make. It's very personal. It's up to the two of you as his parents to decide your son's medical care and the beliefs with which he is raised. I'm tempted to send you home again, but I understand the time pressure involved. Since, according to the terms of your divorce, you did agree to raise your child in the Jewish faith, I have to find for the respondent.
No! You're mutilating my son.
Mrs. Voce, it's a standard medical procedure. It's done all the time.
But I can't stand to see him go through that kind of trauma.
I understand the procedure is short and relatively painless.
Painless for you, maybe. It's barbaric. It's brutal. It's child abuse.
Mrs. Voce, I deal with people all the time whose children have been abused, broken limbs, dislocated shoulders, cigarette burns. I deal with people whose children have been killed by stray bullets. I strongly advise you to put things into perspective here. Go home.
Court is adjourned.
Mr. Gray, I'm Detective Warren. You ready to go?
Go where?
I thought somebody called you. We have a suspect. They're putting together a lineup right now. We need to come down to the station.
I don't know how reliable my identification's gonna be. I mean, I just got a quick look at him.
Well, Miss Matthews is down there right now. If you both pick out the same guy, we'll have a very strong case.
Your Honor, at this time we called Jennifer's younger brother, Vaden.
How old is he?
He's 6.
Your Honor, really, do we have to hear this testimony?
This kind of violence affects a lot of lives. I don't think age is a factor. His loss is as profound as anyone's.
We've already heard from the child's piano teacher, her Girl Scout leader, and her aunts and uncles. I think the impact of Jennifer's death has been well established.
Well, in the case of a child this age, I would have preferred a letter. But I will allow it.
I hope you brought your sense of humor to work today.
No, I couldn't do this job without it.
Mr. and Mrs. Carter are a perfectly average couple raising what appears to be a healthy, bright child. The only problem here is that Mrs. Carter was recently abducted by aliens.
Aliens?
Fortunately, they were a positive strain. So it wasn't a bad experience. But now, their child has been selected to speak to the orb, which, as far as I can tell, is a large, glowing extraterrestrial egg somewhere in Arizona. What? You have a problem with that?
The scary thing is there's nothing we can do about this. There's no law against raising your child among aliens.
There's always something you can do. You just have to be creative.
I had a call from a Detective Dijon today. He's investigating your son's case, and he said that you were using your position here to speed the process along.
I take it he's not happy.
He wanted to speak to Susie. I ran interference. Maxine, sometimes you get a little too creative.
Any mother would have done the same thing.
The average mother does not have your connections.
Are you reprimanding me?
I'm just warning you. If Susie had found out about this, she would have airmailed your head to you.
I'm not afraid of her. And I don't apologize for trying to help my son.
No, ma'am. You are doing this for you, which is fine as long as you realize that vengeance is not going to fix it. You're still going to wake up at 3 in the morning and think about how you almost lost your son.
I don't know what to do.
Have a breakdown. You deserve it.
Jennifer was my big sister. She used to play with me. She took care of me sometimes, too. When my mom was late, she put me to bed. She helped me with my homework. I don't know who's gonna do that now. I miss my sister.
Let's take a 5-minute recess.
The court's in recess for 5 minutes.
I'm sick of it, Bruce. I'm tired of the excuses. He didn't have a family. He didn't have structure. He didn't have role models. Well, it's all about what he didn't have. Well, that little boy, he does not have his sister. And that woman does not have her daughter. You want to talk about loss?
You want to recuse yourself?
No, just because I'm in there wanting to rip the guy's head off doesn't mean I can't be impartial.
There's nothing wrong with taking yourself off this case.
Yeah, right. And the rap is that Judge Gray is too emotional for the job.
You can't worry about what people say.
Yes, I can. I have to.
Your brother was nearly killed. It's a valid excuse.
Oh, so now I'm in the league of people who make excuses for their behavior. Well, somebody has to be responsible. Besides, I'm not biased. I'm responding to evidence. That's what judges do. They listen to evidence and they respond.
You haven't heard from the defense yet. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just sounding off. I'll be okay. Just go back in there.
You're crying.
No, I'm not. Can you call a 20-minute recess?
Said he was going to take care of that.
Hey.
Hi.
Ready, Mr. Gray? This way, please.
Ms. Baxter, you have concluded your victim impact statements,
Yes, Your Honor, we have.
and you have no other evidence to present at this time.
I believe Robert Chetwynd's crime speaks for itself. He behaved like an adult and he should be punished like one.
Mr. Harbert, tomorrow you will present witnesses.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any idea when I'm going to see that list?
We're working on it. There have been some scheduling problems.
Counsel, approach the bench. Mr. Harbert, what's really going on?
His mother's disowned him. His father's never been around. He's not exactly a star pupil. In addition, our expert witness seems to have been unexpectedly called out of town. I am trying, but it's not easy.
What made you think this would be easy?
I am trying to make my case on the fact that my client didn't really know what he was doing.
Well, it looks like your client isn't the only one, Mr. Harbert. Now, it is my intention to conclude this hearing tomorrow. And if you care about this kid, you better start defending him. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning.
Number 2. Number 3. Number 4.
I'm not sure.
It was broad daylight. You said you got a good look at him.
I never said it was a good look.
Mr. Gray, you and your friend were very fortunate. His former victim wasn't. Now, this has turned into a murder investigation. I really need you to concentrate as hard as you can.
You don't think I'm taking this seriously?
I didn't say that.
Guy was pointing a gun at me. I wasn't thinking about his facial features.
Just take your time.
Hey, what's going on?
Number 3. I think that's him.
You think?
Yeah, that's him.
Good.
We've got 14 cases this morning. Break for lunch, then we hear from the defense in the Chetwynd case.
This lawyer managed to scare up some witnesses.
One,
Just one?
Robert Chetwynd.
He's speaking on his own behalf? Well, that's insane. A decent lawyer could have come up with somebody, anybody.
Happens all the time.
All rise for the Honorable Amy Madison Gray.
They're back?
Ever have one of those dreams that wouldn't end?
Yeah, I think I'm having it now.
Be seated.
Counsel, tell me we are not still arguing the circumcision issue.
No, Your Honor, it's a different issue.
What?
Mrs. Voci has stopped nursing her child. Mr. Voci feels that this will have a serious effect on his son's mental and physical well-being.
Mrs. Voci stopped breastfeeding because she was experiencing grave difficulties. Her nipples are cracked and bleeding, and she got an infection.
Well, that's really more than I want to know.
Mr. Voci does not have the right to force her to continue with this. It's a privacy issue.
According to the terms of their divorce, both parents must agree on any decision about the child's physical health.
Plenty of babies thrive on formula. I wasn't breastfed.
Well, you're not the issue here.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I want to stop this in its tracks. I have spent more than enough time dealing with this penis petition. Could you excuse me for a moment?
All rise.
You all right?
Bruce, could you just make them go away?
Done.
I had a bad dream last night.
Really? What did you dream?
That Miss Shalewy was my mother.
Wow, that is scary.
And she was trying to shoot me.
Sweetie, nobody's gonna shoot you. Least of all, Mrs. Schlewy.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Lauren, run and get your backpack. Carp will be here soon. I tried to warn you.
Well, this happened to her too, Ma. Can't protect her from that.
You need to talk to her.
Will you stop telling everybody what they need to do?
You're up early. Why aren't you resting?
I have to teach a writing class.
Can't you take some time off?
I feel fine. I just came by to give you some news that's gonna make you happy. They caught the guy.
They did? When?
I ID'd him in a lineup yesterday. Cops seemed happy. They think the case is gonna stick.
Hooray for our side.
You must be relieved. Aren't you?
Yeah, I'm relieved.
Mr. Chetwynd, you realized you were still under oath.
Mr. Chetwynd, tell us a little about what your early childhood was like.
I'm the youngest of 6 kids. My dad was never around. My mom couldn't deal with it, so that's why she sent us away.
Sent you where?
I lived in some foster homes.
The record says you've lived in 6 different homes altogether. Is that correct?
Yeah, something like that.
The record reflects, Robert, that in 2 of those homes you endured physical and sexual abuse. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Tell the court what happened the night Jennifer Marquardt was killed.
I was just hanging out on the street, looking for something to do. Then these guys came around, asked if I wanted to go for a ride.
So, you got in the car.
Why did you get in the car?
I heard some talk on the street about payback. I saw Snoop's Glock. I don't know. I guess I just wanted to see what would go down. First, we just rode around for a while. Got some beer, listened to music. Then we pulled onto Market Street. There was these 2 guys standing on the corner. Someone said, "There he is." And then Snoop pulled out his gun, started shooting out the window. Happened so fast.
Did you ever see Jennifer Marquardt?
No.
Did you pull the trigger?
No, it was Snoop.
Are you sorry about what happened?
Yes, I am.
Mr. Chetwynd, you are basically speaking for yourself. You are the defense. So now is the time to tell me exactly how you feel about what happened.
Can I read something?
Yeah.
I am very sorry for what happened to Jennifer Marquardt. I did not know anyone would get shot. If I knew, I would have did something else that day. That little girl never hurt nobody. Now she is dead and I feel bad. I wish everything was different, but it's not. Pay attention to what you're doing all the time because people get killed before you know it, and you have to think about that forever. That's what I learned from this. That's all I got.
Vincent?
Yeah.
I thought I heard somebody down here. You scared me.
Machines in my apartment building don't work.
Somebody ought to take your landlord to court.
Yeah, that's the answer. Let's put everybody in jail. This thing doesn't work either. You ever think about updating your appliances? I tried that. It didn't work for me.
Sometimes it takes a special touch. Any idea when the trial will be?
What trial?
On your case.
That's not my case. Lisa Matthews' case. Just a witness.
A witness who was nearly killed. I'm sure they'll bring him up on attempted murder charges, too.
Great. That make everybody happy?
Vincent, what is wrong with you?
You won't let this drop. Nobody will let this thing just go away. I don't want it to become my identity, all right?
Nobody's saying
I
that.
want my life back. I want to be able to write again, sleep, talk on the phone, watch the news. I don't have any food in my apartment because I can't get myself to go to the grocery store.
Maybe you need to talk to someone.
I don't need to talk to anyone. I need this to stop. I had this moment where I want to let him go. Just want to say, it's all right, never mind.
You did the right thing.
I don't even know what that means.
Do you remember the other time you almost died?
At the beach.
You dug that sand tunnel and crawled down into it. It collapsed on you. You just disappeared. I stood there paralyzed while the lifeguards dug you out, and I remember thinking, I don't know a damn thing about life. Not one thing. Maybe we're not supposed to make sense of all of it. Maybe we're just supposed to appreciate what we have. You go upstairs and relax. I'll finish this.
Mom, no.
I'd like to.
28 years old.
Vincent, I almost lost you, and I'd like to do your laundry.
All rise. Be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, well, the effects of violence are far-reaching. As we've seen in this courtroom, countless lives are affected. A child has been lost. That loss is grieved by her family, her friends, members of her community. A young man stands to have his life completely changed by my decision. I have to tell you from my gut that it sickens me that crimes like this occur. The children are lost, almost on a whim. That these atrocities occur in the town where I was born and raised. Mr. Chetwynd's defense left a great deal to be desired. When he spoke on his own behalf, I have to admit that I was expecting to hear something more substantial. Something that demonstrated true remorse. An indication that he fully understood and took responsibility for his actions. What I heard was not very sophisticated, not very well thought out. What I heard were the words of someone whose emotional development has been greatly hindered by his circumstance. What I heard were the words of a child. No decision on my part could make up for the loss of Jennifer Marquardt. No sentence I could pass would justify it. My goal is to punish the crime while preserving some hope, if possible, that the juvenile can be rehabilitated and brought back as a productive member of society. Sending Mr. Chetwynd to adult prison decreases those odds. I hereby sentence Mr. Chetwynd to 4 years juvenile state training school.
How can you live with yourself?
Judge Gray, that boy killed my child. Have you no conscience? Have you no shame?
You cannot address the judge.
I just want her to look me in the eye.
Please.
Just let her look me in the eye.
Court is adjourned.